even for us as Tottenham, Thomas Frank is proven at a certain level. Is he proven at our level?
Yeah.
Again, it's another unknown.
Even in our worst period, we're still in cup final. His brain probably takes a while to kickstart. Anyway,
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to another episode of Podcast Pundits. I'm Drayman back in the hot seat today. Obviously, Buemo Man United top and Buemo's over the line. We'll crack on into that later on in the pod, but let's go around the room. So you got with us. Moving to my left, Strives.
Yo, what you saying, man? It's your boy Strives. You can call me Striver, representing Arsenal, as you guys already know. If it's international duty, Nigeria and England. I'm here, man, here to chop it up with the boys.
Let's move into my right, Marley Mar.
Marley Mar here, repping Barcelona today, vintage Barcelona. The man them will know this is when Ronaldo was before the injury, popping. Today I'm supporting my boy Rashford. Unity. I'll tell you about you.
Moving to Marley's right, Joey.
Yo, it's your boy Joey Nomadic, a.k.a. Liverpool's #1 supporter. Bang, 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 you see it. Unlike the guy to my left, I'm repping the team that I support. And not anyone but the team I support. So, yeah, man, obviously it's the transfer window's moving. I'm happy to be here, man. Let's talk football, boys.
And then moving on, Della Strada.
Yo, Della Strada. I'm here to talk the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And in doing so, keep my boys honest as well. So.
Lies. I had a special guest in the house, GoldKay. Introduce yourself, introduce your team.
Yeah, come on, I go by the name of GoldKay, representing the real North London team inside the building, not Southwest Woolwich.
Crazy, because actually their team was based in Hertfordshire. You didn't even know that.
Yeah, we were about Hertfordshire. It's closer to North London than Southwest Woolwich.
I'm just saying, I don't even think you're even... was it even Hertfordshire or Middlesex? All I'm saying is you're not even in North London. Do your research.
Bro,
And we came over to your city and we took over. But anyway, do your intro.
Took over where? In domestic or in Europe? Because in Europe you still haven't picked up anything. But we'll get there.
And just quickly, GoldKay, before we go into the pod, just quickly give us a summary how you follow Tottenham.
I've been a lifelong fan. My dad supported Tottenham. He used to support Liverpool before, but I think because of the way that they bullied John Barnes by throwing bananas at him and all that, my dad was offended by that. So he moved from Liverpool to Tottenham. We were living in Broadwater Farm Estate at the time, North London. Shout out to all my North Londoners. But now I'm based in South. But, you know what I'm saying, stay true to my
Still
local.
got to rep the team.
Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Trust me.
Wicked. Obviously, give us a like, give us a follow on all major platforms. We're enjoying those comments, man. They make me laugh. But keep it going. 500 followers on TikTok. We want to grow that. So love. And let's move straight into it. Obviously, not football first, but quickly just into the boxing that happened over the weekend. It's the big fight, Usyk versus Dubois. I just put it to my main boxing fans. Let's start with you, Marley Mar.
Oh, right, me first.
Yeah. I know, you were thinking Shives. No, just a quick general one. What did you think overall? Obviously, 5 rounds, quite quick, but...
Yeah, education still, a real education. Like, obviously, Strives is he talks about Usyk pretty much all the time, obviously, because he knocked out AJ a couple of times. So
You didn't knock him out.
that hurts,
You didn't knock him out, though.
he didn't.
No. That's when AJ respected himself.
Okay, all right. Well, anyway, Usyk is Strives' guy after he toppled AJ. Hold tight, you AJ. But yeah, the weekend Usyk was on job. He came out ferocious. I wasn't expecting him to start that quick. He wanted to make a example of Daniel Dubois, obviously because of the first fight and the uncertainty of the low blow. But yeah, great fight, real education, and is probably top 10 heavyweights. I think that's a comfortable statement to make right about now, right?
Well, of all time?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think you have to put him in there. But there's an argument to say that the heavyweights of today don't stand up with the heavyweights of the past. That's probably the only reason why you might get some pushback. But some people might even put him in top 5.
What's the arguments for that?
As in the heavyweights of today, how do they stand up with Lennox Lewis,
and Muhammad Ali's?
Yeah, if you go that far back.
Why do they say they wouldn't stand up to them?
That's because I don't know. You have to ask them. But from what I hear, probably the skill level, like for instance, if you think back to when you was watching like
Lennox Lewis, Tyson, Evander Holyfield, and whatnot, and then you're thinking Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, Lawrence Okoli nowadays.
Also, what they're talking about,
Tyson
the amount
Fury.
of technical boxers, because I think in terms of watching Usyk, I don't see any lack in technical ability. But
No.
when those other guys you mentioned,
then-
I wouldn't
So it's not
argue that.
Usyk more.
Oh, it's just the
mainly.
volume
It's
of
more. It's just. It's, if you're so you're like, okay, how would Usyk fare against like an Evander Holyfield?
Yeah.
How would he fare against like a Lennox Lewis back
Yeah.
then? Mike Tyson, them ones. Whereas obviously now, where he's cleaning up with your Dubois, your Furies, your AJs, you might have people that turn around and say, well, them man weren't a patch on the previous man.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not saying that's what I'm saying though, but I'm just saying
What
that's
are you
what.
saying?
I believe that. I believe that the quality of boxing, especially in the heavyweight division, has dropped significantly. If you compare the amount of heavyweight boxers that were competing back then, in the days of the Tysons, the Holyfields, there was loads to choose from. Whereas now it's like there's these two and then everybody else. But that's kind of how I feel about football as well nowadays.
No. I heard that. I mean, how I feel is I think the heavyweights now are bigger. They're a lot bigger and whatnot. So I think you've got to take that into consideration because, right, so imagine like Usyk now is considered a small heavyweight.
Yeah.
But he's actually, he's got the
he's
dimensions
progressed
and the
all the way
frame.
up,
And
right?
because he started on cruiserweight and stuff like that. But if you think back then, they were a lot smaller in terms of like your heavyweights. But now your AJs, your Bacolis, your all these people, they're like massive guys, like 240, 250 pounds. They weren't like that back in the day. So if you come back, obviously the skill level might be there, but as we've seen, like, was it Oliver McCall or whatnot, or Rahman or Rackman or
Fassim Rahman.
yeah, like it just takes a punch and you're knocking out the best people. So it's hard to say, but because if you put like an AJ when he was proper AJ, not the guy that got smashed out by Dubois, against some of them guys back in the day, you might have stood a chance because look at how he fought Vladimir Klitschko. You know what I'm saying? But then if you put like a Dillian White and all these people against these man, I would say obviously the past. I'm with you, GoldKay. I think the past they're much better, but I don't think there's as much disparity as some people would say because they're a lot bigger today. And that's why I think Usyk needs to be mentioned as top 10.
Do you think so though? Because even now as you're saying it, I'm just thinking of all the boxers of yesteryear. Like I'm just thinking in terms of the actual size. Because back then, not a lot of boxers jumped up the weight bands as much as they do now. And that's more so because there's not a lot of quality boxers where these boxers are fighting. So they feel like they have to move up a weight band to kind of almost
To
test
reach their level.
To reach a higher level. Whereas back in the day, back in the day, heavyweights will go in there and then out of 3 fights, the overall score is 2-1. Whereas nowadays it's like they have 3 fights, the overall score is like 3-0. Like if you're gonna use like even Fury and
Deontay
Wilder.
yeah.
Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like if a man's knocking you out 3 times, like I think I'm sure you might come onto it in a sec, but now that Dubois lost twice, does he go again like AJ? Do you get what I'm trying to say? Or because if he goes again and loses 3 times, like we're all here like thinking AJ might as well pack it in type thing.
I'm not there.
No,
But I mean-
AJ's a good fighter.
I'm not saying he isn't, but if you're going to try and beat the best and after 3 attempts you haven't.
It was 2 attempts.
But Dubois got age on his side. That's the only thing I would say. Where is he? 26, and he's fought a lot of fights under his belt for a 26-year-old and fighting top caliber.
Yeah, no, Dubois can definitely come again. I don't think GoldKay was saying that. You weren't saying that. Like, where can Dubois go now? Yeah,
No, it's not that. But like, is he going to go down the Deontay Wilder route and go against
I think
a fighter 3
that's
times
no,
and
that's
lose
too
3 times? Because then, if this is the champion,
yeah.
is that who you go for again, or do you wait maybe another champion and I don't know. Like,
Well, I mean, back in the day, Roy Jones Jr. was a smaller fighter, and he went up to heavyweight and won. So it's even back in the day, like history always has a way of repeating itself. You know what I mean? That's life's just like that. Like it's cyclical, isn't it? But yeah, with Usyk now being like the undisputed champ, eventually them belts are gonna like fray. Like they're gonna split up. So you might be able to like in a Dubois sense, for instance, he might end up fighting a Joseph Parker or Moses Atama that's coming up, and they could fight for another version of a heavyweight title, because you know what I mean. So yeah, like there's going to be heavyweight champions like spawning, but to be fair, like unless you're beating Usyk, you're not really beating the guy. You get what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And none of them's beating him. Like Fury's tried. He's acting like a douche at the moment.
Yeah.
So, popping up on social media.
So speaking of douches, did Turkey respond to your tweet the other day?
So Kelly say, what did I call him? Oh, I told him to shut up, innit?
Yeah.
Well, he didn't. No, he didn't. Well, you know what? I've tried to like this guy, yeah, and I do, yeah, for the most part. But he started to get on my nerves, man. Like he just thinks the game's about him now. Oh, I think Usyk Musa versus Musa Atama and stuff. Shut up, man.
Wait, but is it not about him though?
Putting his bread up, B.
Yeah. Like, is it not about him, bro? Like he's at the right to...
Bro, but
If it wasn't for him, these fights wouldn't even be getting made, bro. Like,
yeah,
so, come
and
on.
that's why I appreciate him. But then just know why you're valuable, innit? Like, just don't do too much. Usyk's
you're being rude, bro.
I'm not, bro.
You're being very rude.
Usyk's beating Tyson Fury, who everyone here would have said was the best heavyweight boxer before Usyk did that. Beat him twice. He's beat AJ. He's my favourite. Twice. He's beat Daniel Dubois twice. Beat Derek Chisora, all these guys. And Moses Atama, a baby heavyweight, he's coming out, knocking people out the way AJ was back in the day. Or, you know, like when you're new and you're on your bull run, he says, that's the fight to make. Are you taking a piss? Get out of there, man. Just put your money up and shut up. That's basically what you need to do.
What is the fight to make then?
Bruv, Usyk can retire, bruv.
Yeah, he really can.
Okay.
Usyk can retire. Who else is he got?
But he doesn't want to retire though.
If he don't want to retire, he might go back to Ukraine, fight the war a bit, come back and bang up some people again. Like,
But if he wants to have another fight,
Yeah, who's he fighting if he wants to have another fight?
well,
Like,
Joe
Parker,
year.
I think, is in line really for
Joseph
mandatory.
Parker is like what Jay said, because Joseph Parker's been on a decent run, so he probably could fight.
But
him.
is that who you want to see him fight though?
I don't want to see him fight now.
So who do you want to see him fight?
I want to see if you had.
Nah, he sounds like you're about to apologize.
That's what I mean, bro.
Hey.
That guy that you mentioned, because I've been watching.
That's
him
who
still-
Turkey's talking about, bro.
He's moving like he reminds me of old school Tyson,
Yeah. That's what people are saying.
and I feel like he's that one that if he was to go into the ring with Usyk, I would actually bet on him. Not to say that he would win, but I would risk betting on him.
So if
Because
he
he's
beats
got-
Dylan White,
He'll beat Dylan White.
but that's disrespectful to Dylan White. But there's a good chance. There's a good chance. But if he does beat Dylan White, then Turkey can say that. You get what I'm saying? No, but right now you can't say it yet.
Apologise.
But no. Be
Be a bigger man. Be a bigger man.
Speaking of apologies,
Yeah.
Don't touch me. The only reason why I was asking like about the difference between the past boxers because I was watching some like tennis from the 80s, bro.
Yeah.
And bro, like it was. I sent it to you, Jeezy. It was dusty, bruv. Yeah. And you know when you watch the old football, you're like, all right, yeah, Pele did this thing. Eusebio did this thing, but come on, these men were necking pints at halftime and flipping, banging cigarettes as well. Like most sports, because the barrier to entry is gone down, it's a bit cheaper to coach. More people are getting interested in certain sports. The technical ability is improving. So that's what I was thinking. Right, so what, boxing hasn't really fitted along with that timeline? Because like, you're getting a bit more and more black tennis stars, for example. The ball retention in football and the dribbling is crazy, bro. Because the coaching is available to more players. So I'm thinking, has that not trickled down in boxing as well?
But that's a good point that you're making. So this is where I come from. The angle I come at it with is I don't think that the old guys are just automatically better. I think nostalgia and our love with the past. You know, like even in football, immediately you'll do revisionism. Like you're something that will happen in the past, you magnify it to something that it wasn't when we talk about it today. And I think that's what happens sometimes with boxing.
Yeah.
But what I will say with the football take is I'm a little bit here with that because you can think of bare guys like.
Bro, I was just about to say, because bro, if you're talking about football from back in the day, listen, like obviously now when I'm watching old school football highlights, like
how old?
Because like okay, so if we're gonna go back even, like what did I even watch the other day? I think it was Tottenham in one final or another, 99, and I'm looking at this like, I remember watching this. And it didn't look like this when I was watching. But like we've moved from 240p to 5K. And that's why it looks like that. Because when you go and watch R9 what do you call it? Highlights, it doesn't look as mad as how I remember R9 to be when he was playing.
Yeah.
But when you go and watch it, in terms of the speed and everything, it doesn't look quick. But I think that's down to just technology advancing. So you see everything.
Technology and pitching.
But
quality,
and Arsene Wenger as well, because there's football pre Arsene Wenger and post Arsene Wenger when it was just, again, brothers in the pub at half time. And then athletes and science in football. So that's why I feel like I think there's a big difference.
Do you think it would have been easier to make it back in the day than it is to make it now?
Am I black? When you're asking that question.
Okay, you're. I see what you did
No, because there's bare Nigerians in football now, bro.
I see what you did
like
there.
the amount of black people in football is increased massively, bro.
No, you're not black. Just
I think it's easier, bro. Because remember, you
easier to make it today.
No, back in the day, bro.
Back in the day.
Yeah, you do your apprenticeship and you like, bro, like, come on, man.
If you had
I was gonna say a player, but I don't want to say Paul Coach.
If you had the ability and the sports science knowledge that we have now, it would be easier to make it back in the day. I think for sure. Now it's like everyone's trying to be. I feel like there's more trying to be footballers now than there was back in the day.
Today, I feel like there's more engineered footballers. Like I feel like there's more CR7s, as in people that work hard and
there's more money.
Drill system, and then because you're good, you're athletic, and you can work a system very competently. You can make it. Whereas back in the day, there was like
Rooney.
Mavericks everywhere kind of thing.
No, but Stravs, if you go on ITV4, bro, on a Sunday afternoon, bro, like there's some guys that clearly this guy's laying bricks on a pitch, bro. Like you can tell this guy shouldn't be here, bro.
You mean
a bricklayer on the pitch, bro. Like,
okay.
And then all of them are losing their head, but they're all 16, bro. I don't
go through the challenge of actually watching one of your an old game. Let's say from the 2000s first, and then maybe go to the 90s, bro. If you watch it, the football, bro, is nuts. I was watching Man United games, like old school Man United games, and I was like, I don't remember it like these man looking, bro. They were slow, bro. Like,
but remember, there's loads of money invested in it post Premier League, in it. So it's a different product to what it was in the 70s and the 60s.
Because, bro, Obafemi Martins is still the fastest player to ever get.
No, but that was Premier League. That's Premier League era, though, isn't it? So it counts.
If we're talking about even technical ability, skill, bro, even right now, if we take our top 5 midfielders from back then and compare them to who we regard as the top 5 midfielders now, bro, the top 5 midfielders then is better than the top 5 midfielders.
That's where I'm.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that.
Even if you go like a couple levels down, like Podolski,
No, wait, that's a different. That's a different conversation though. Because no, but hang on, you're talking about the peak. I'm talking about the game as a whole.
They all win.
You think?
Yeah. No, but guys, remember, you're talking about the peak of football.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe they're better, but I'm saying the sport on the whole.
Yeah, overall, you had your superstars.
It's better now than it was there. So remember, I can watch Burnley versus Sunderland and I can enjoy the game. You're not watching Burnley versus Sunderland in the 70s, bro.
I get where he's coming from on an overall flex because you are getting better quality games at the lower level of the lower.
Okay, cool. Yeah, but I mean, to be fair, like, you're talking about the Championship, League One and all that.
But even conference, bro, you're watching games there, bro.
Cool, I can understand that. But if we're talking about top tier football, top tier football, footballers back, bro, every team had a world star player, bro. I remember World Cup was coming. Every national team had one bad boy. Like even Japan had a Toshi Nakata. Uruguay had Rakoba. Like everybody had somebody. Now it's not like that.
It's true.
Now it's like Cristiano, Messi, whichever order you want to put it in. Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, and then everybody else. Whereas back in the day it was like Zidane.
Even the Juventus team was full of the stars.
Batistuta,
Seedorf, David. Imagine Seedorf and Davids those players weren't even regarded for Ballon d'Or back then. But if you compare them midfielders to midfielders now, but most of the midfielders can't consider them.
So I blame the money for that because there's so much money in it. You have to win. So now they coach the individuality out of players. So you're gonna get less Zidanes and you're gonna get more Gary Neville's.
That's why I asked you if you remember the original question was like, do you think it would be easier to make it? Because what if you got coached and got shown, okay, this is how to make it, and became literally a mechanical football player?
Yeah.
I reckon.
But not everybody can receive that information to become a mechanical player, bro. Like it's hard. It's very hard to do.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Do you know like how many players make it out of academy level into the first team, bro?
Yeah, that's
cool.
true.
But then on the flip side of that, bro, like you see, obviously football money and all that kind of stuff has changed the narrative of football, where certain teams have got to make certain decisions or do certain things. Like for example, Barcelona, the way that they've got to do transfers now because of the whole their transfer issues and what have you. Yeah. Do you think the days of Rivaldo, Eto'o, Ronaldinho, and all that? Do you think Rashford will get into just be able to slide on loan to Barcelona because he feels like it?
No, they had the Rashford equivalent at the time when
because
obviously I don't know the Barcelona team.
Their second string left winger was Overmars those days.
Ludovic Julie, it wasn't he at Barcelona?
Julie banging for it. Yeah, that was
that's Rashford B.
No.
That's Rashford B.
But it's like pedigree. You're saying there was real pedigree in those teams.
Bro, it was Cliver and Eto'o that was battling for that number 9. Where are you
that's
going?
crazy. When you think about it, there was a lot of names.
You said Rashford's better than Bethlehem.
He's better than who?
No. I said he's better than Cliver. I said he's better than. I'm just trying to wind people up.
But if we just quickly round up that boxing one anyway. So who do we think Usyk's going to fight? Or who should he fight? Because Stripes, you never really...
I think that Matoma guy.
Told us who you wanted him to fight. We said obviously Joe Parker.
What, there's no value in it.
Is it no value in terms of because he's done and dusted, like in terms of like he's dealt with all of these
it's just like, bro, like I've like after I saw it, like through what Marlon Mar said at the top of the show, is literally he's now become my favorite because he took out my favorite, innit?
So you've got the default.
Yeah. It was like he's now the champ, but then. It's like before AJ fought him, I was like, AJ, you don't need to do this, bro. Because I knew what would happen, but I hoped. So anyway, he beat AJ twice, dealt with Fury twice. He's now dealt with Dubois. The way he dealt with Dubois was so funny because for me, Dubois had lost his mind. Like,
yeah, but that was going to say,
and I don't think the people who look after Dubois were very sensible.
Yeah, because
he's on a massive run, and you go and send him to Usyk. That's insane.
No, but it's not even that. I was just going to say quickly with him, with Dubois, we know that he's like raw. So for me, when I watch him, he's not very technical. He's more like he tries to be technical, but he's more of a gung-ho heavyweight boxer to me.
You mean
he hasn't got the brain.
He's technical, but you mean not strategic?
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't got the
quite
brain.
Technical, in my opinion.
So the thing is, even when he went down, I'll give you an example. When he went down, when he obviously got that left hook, and he went down and that hurt him, right? Bro, like, he tried to go again, like straight away, like straight into war.
Yeah, I think he tried to be aggressive. I think he tried to work towards maybe how Usyk fights usually, but Usyk came out on a new thing.
Yeah,
I don't think I haven't seen him fight like that or start a fight so fast, and I think that surprised Daniel Dubois, bruv. And Daniel Dubois probably didn't adjust his strategy from the beginning of the fight, where he probably just said, "I'm gonna go out there, be aggressive." He even said it. He was saying, "I'm gonna bring the war to him."
Yeah, but it should have, like for me, if you've gone down, be a bit clever. Yeah, but like dance around the ring, trying to get. No, but I'm saying that's the whole point of it.
You forget he's getting donged.
Yeah, he's got donged. But my thing is, he's got donged, but then he's tried to go back in. Like,
bro, he's fight or flight.
Yeah, honestly, no. But he said, yeah, but he got donged, yeah. You got donged, bro. It's crazy. You're not thinking straight, bro.
He's looking up when he's going raw.
No, do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Do you know no. Joe's never been donged before, bro. When you've been donged, you make some bad decisions.
You hear that bell. Bless it.
But if he doesn't know, then at least his corners be shouting, just move around, around the ring.
All you're hearing is, you know that white noise, bro, when you've been donged.
It's like a piercing. Your brain is just trying to work out. Do I switch?
Bruv,
Do I need a minute?
And as I said in the group, bruv, more time, bruv. Like where Daniel Dubois, his brain probably takes a while to kickstart anyway, bruv.
Come on, man. You can't do that.
But it's like, he's a fighter, innit? Nah, he's a fighter, innit? But let's be honest, everyone knows, innit? You've seen the clips.
Nah, man, I don't agree.
You know. You know.
I mean,
he just thinks on a different plane, bro.
Yeah. I think he's got a superpower. I don't know if it's been diagnosed yet.
Some people are made to be fighters. This one is made to be a fighter.
But before we wrap it, Okoli as well, Strives, what do you think? Moving up into heavyweight.
You know what? I was at a wedding, so I missed the fight. But then the feedback I got back sounded like it's just more of the same. So it doesn't matter. I mean, from what I can see of him, he looks like he looks like he's eating well.
Yeah,
to say the least.
To say the least. I don't know. I mean, did any of you catch his fight?
Yeah, I caught the last couple rounds of it. So.
Did he look any?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it, bro, man.
Was it a knockout? Because I don't even know. I'm sure he won.
I'm not really a fan of his fights. I don't really watch him too. So
yeah, I mean, Okoli. I mean, yeah, like a guy from ends doing his thing, fellow Niger, want him to do well and whatnot, but I don't know if he's like he was calling that Dillian White and stuff like that. That's probably
That'd be a good fight for him.
Yeah, that would be a
that
good
would
fight.
be.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that would
like he's got no business trying to talk to Usyk.
To Usyk, yeah,
or
be
not,
a
you know
step
what I mean?
too far.
Yeah, so
What do you think, Della?
I'm just saying my lane.
You know that voice when you haven't spoken in a while.
yeah. You really would have thought
But
this
you
would
know
have been
what,
his
yeah,
lane, bro,
from-
because Della was a real fighter back in the day, bro.
I can't remember. I don't know if it was. I think it was Usyk's first fight with Fury.
Yeah.
You could see from there, but like there's boxers that study other boxers, but you can tell the way that he studied, and he mentions it in his press conferences that the way that he studies boxers is different. What you're looking for when you're trying to study him is not what he's looking for when he's trying to study you. Like he's looking out for stuff that you wouldn't even think about. And in the first, I think it was in the first round he caught Fury off guard. Fury didn't know what was. I think even that they said that was the first time Fury hit the canvas.
No. Fury's hit the canvas a good few times still.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, a good few
No,
times.
sorry. I think it was in terms of how early he hit the canvas.
No, because I don't think Fury went down in the first round in that one.
I think it was the second round that he went down,
like
but it's the way that he was getting dealt with in the first round. He didn't get it. Like you can tell that he was looking at Usyk like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, in Street Fighter when you put in the block like that, like the block like that. Like that.
Usyk's just built. He's just different. Like because even I think it was Chisora was saying that. Do you know that he swims for 6 hours non-stop?
What?
Who was it?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I used to
He
do
swims
that
for
as well,
6
bro.
hours non-stop, bro. He just does laps for 6 hours. Bro, imagine. Imagine you was to swim for 6 hours, bro.
Nowadays, bro, I swim for freaking 5 minutes. I'm finished. Bro.
Yeah, do you imagine never learn 6 hours?
Bro, and you know what's crazy? There's no resistance, bro.
Wow.
Like,
But and you know it's even bad because you know, like obviously I take the little miss. My daughter's swimming all the time, yeah. So obviously I'm onto her about her fitness or whatnot. I had to go into her. It's now her arena. Yeah, I'll give it to her. It's her arena. And the one thing I did, like, she tried to race me in it. Obviously, I smoked her. But in terms of the endurance side of it, bro, she can just keep going and going. And if you look at both of us, it shouldn't be that way.
no, but you've got you're self-taught swimmer, right?
No, I did. I learned in primary school, but then
After you learn in primary school,
yeah.
You've been taking her lessons, so she's got better technique, obviously,
Yeah,
like, more
100.
efficient technique.
Yeah, definitely. Because she was trying to help me brush up on my
Okay.
technique. But
Obviously,
even,
you told her to shut her dirty mouth.
yeah, bro, I nearly drowned her. Bro.
Brilliant. Anyway, let's move straight back onto the footy side of the pod. Obviously, we just wanted to do a quick boxing roundup. We obviously are going to move on to Palace. A lot of talk with them being demoted to the Europa Conference League now. And Marley, if I put it to you, obviously being a Palace fan, initial thoughts, is it the right decision?
That they're being demoted?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, obviously not. I don't even know if he needs to speak much about this. I just think it's a bit unfair. A bit unfair that they've been demoted. I think for most football fans, I think they'll probably feel or probably agree that it's taking the joy of what we love about football, taken away from a team that probably should be in the competition. So yeah, man. Hopefully, I think I mentioned it in the group. Is hopefully it goes to they appeal it and the appeal goes through, man, and football wins. But you never know. They're a small club, so it might be a case of the bigger club are going to win. Unfortunately,
Can I play devil's advocate? Though?
I was
That's
going to do that as well.
That's not to say that I don't
Yeah, go
agree
on.
with you. However, like Man City went through this, right, with their whole their ownership structure, right? If you know that if you've got an example out there, take heed, right? Because you don't want to go through the same thing they've gone through. Because there was that issue with Man City and who was that team?
Girona,
yeah.
They had the same issue. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
And it's about
exactly.
the ownership structure. So they rewired it a certain way so that the ownership doesn't look like it's directly the.
yeah, putting the.
Do you get what I'm trying? So if you've got that example to go by, then follow suit. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Don't make the same mistake as somebody else. Like, as unfair as it sounds, if those are the rules, those are the rules.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I think what I would probably say and what Parrish has said as well is that they didn't envision that they would be in a scenario like they're in at the minute.
That I agree with as
So-
well, because
so-
I'm sure Crystal Palace never thought that.
Yeah, exactly. So I can understand a punishment is due to the team, but I personally don't think the punishment is befitting of the crime. If that makes sense. So I think that's the only pushback I would say. But yeah, man, the rules are the rules, man.
Yeah, my devil's advocate would
But
be
then if you're saying the
if
rules are
it-
the rules, then
they should have fouled.
Then Crystal
For the
Palace
blind
are
trust.
out of there, bro.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping the judgment of the football as what we understand to be football. Hopefully they get a blight. But yeah, if they're following the rules, they're not in it. Do you know what I mean?
Because obviously I think who's the second is UEFA in this one, isn't it? So
Yeah,
UEFA,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think did we touch on this in a pod or was this a off pod
I think
conversation?
probably
It was
off.
off-pod.
Yeah,
Yeah, off-pod.
like Red Bull as well.
Yeah. But you would have wanted this to kind of like sort itself out because ultimately there could be a lot of like legal cases.
that's what they were waiting for. So they didn't want to make a decision because they were hoping Lyon were going to get relegated.
Yeah.
So that
Or
would
stay relegated.
Yeah, because obviously you can't be in the UEFA Cup if you're not in the top league, innit? But
Leon appealed the decision.
Yeah. The other devil's advocate I was going to say, if it wasn't, let's say this happened to Chelsea, would you be feeling the same way about it though?
Probably not as much because they're
Yeah.
a bigger club. I think it's because obviously
Because they're a smaller club. Like,
smaller club.
Yeah.
It's obviously round the corner as well. I feel like a my voice needs to be heard a little bit more just because they're a local team. But I mean, do you know what I mean? It is
Think
what
about
it
it
is,
as a when you're Crystal Palace and you're originally in that situation. You're in the final you're in the FA Cup. Full stop. You're on a cup run. I don't think you're thinking, oh my God, we're gonna
Win it.
yeah, Europa. I want to be in the Europa next season. All you're thinking is, I want to win this trophy.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to win.
100%.
You know what I mean? So I think, I don't think when they won that trophy, their players was like, oh my God, we got Europe. They're like, oh my days, we've won this trophy.
Yeah,
That this is it. So I think everything afterwards is just more of a it's just like an after symptom of it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, okay, Europe, sick.
Yeah.
And I think that is not just with the players. Obviously, their ownership is the same way because
Yeah, because he said, "Oh shit."
exactly.
yeah.
And I think you literally mentioned that. So if the MCO rules, multi-club ownership, says you cannot have a vetted or invested interest in more than one club in whatever the competition.
Yeah, but I think the main thing was something to do with the major influence you have on the club, and
But
I think
he
that's
doesn't
how.
have influence.
I know, but that's the whole
crazy.
point.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the whole point. I think that's from John Texter's point of view that he's like, I don't have any influence on this club, but his thought on it was speaking to Palace fans that he always wanted out because he didn't have that influence.
Yeah,
So in the back
exactly.
of his mind, he's like, why am I going to go and put myself in a blind trust when I don't even want to be at this club because I've got no control over it?
Yeah.
but that's the thing I was gonna say to the rules clearly state because even though you're saying he hasn't got influence as someone who's got shares.
Yeah,
as a worker
exactly.
power, he
On
does.
paper, it's different.
He does though.
No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Because if you have a certain amount of, you don't have a controlling influence. Because he was saying, I wanted to bring all these players from Botafogo to Crystal Palace, and they were saying, and Steve Parish was saying no.
Okay,
so that means you don't have controlling
Yeah,
influence.
he might not have the major controlling interest. He might not have majority vote.
Yeah,
but
you have an influence.
Yeah, you have an influence because the conversation's being had. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And the rules of it is if you are gonna have shares in various clubs, then you transfer it to a blind trust.
Yeah.
And then you relinquish all rights or anything to a third party. And whether they have control behind the scenes or not, that's just a conspiracy theory.
But his role, I believe, it was a non-executive role. So he always had, in terms of his name being on the paperwork, but in terms of making decisions for the club, that was solely Steve Parish and
but
the other
GoldKay,
guy.
it's admin. It's a case of admin,
Yeah,
bro.
I agree.
You know what you got to do. You've got your deadline. Do it by 1st of March, whenever they've said it.
But that's what's fucked up though, bro. Why should the deadline be before you even get to the finals of a
But
qualifying
apparently,
tournament?
my brother was saying that I think that one was like either the first one. There was actually a later one that they still didn't comply with.
What was that before the finals? I don't think that was before the finals, which is fucked up.
I'm not sure if it was.
But by then the finals would have been. The finals was like in May, so they wouldn't have even known.
That's what I'm saying. So like, for that to be the deadline is crazy, bro.
So then why are you feeling sorry for them? They didn't have the ambition to prepare for.
Come on,
statistically.
But did you hear?
Yeah, I know. But ultimately, though, it's just like, bro, like they're still in Europe. Like it's a win for them.
No.
But it's true though, because you didn't. You weren't ambitious enough.
They still have to qualify for Conference League, so they may not actually get into Europe.
Oh, do they?
But did they have to qualify for Europa? They didn't have to.
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, but now they do as punishment, innit?
That's conference
Fucked up,
playoff.
That's
we're going to say the admin error.
Yeah,
like
that's deep.
The admin error was nuts.
That's just silly, isn't it?
You should at least be in like an ultimate entry, like
Bro, you should be in the finals, bro.
Yeah, exactly. You should be top seed. If they're seeded, it should be top seeding, whatever it is, and that thing. Having to qualify is rude.
But did you hear who UEFA were emailing?
Who?
It was info@cpfc.com. So you're just,
that's the kind of stuff that I do if I don't want to see emails.
Yeah. And you put it all in lowercase.
Yeah. Again, man, that's their fault, man.
I think it's going to be a tough one. They've appealed it, but I think it's going to be a tough one.
But you know who hasn't helped? Marinakis. He hasn't helped Crystal Palace either.
No, he shouldn't either, though.
No,
He's deep.
So what is he now in?
They're in Europa now.
He's a little. Look. And I'm sure we'll get to it at some point. But look what he's doing, even with Gibbs White.
Well, he's got a job to do, bro. I'm here for it, bro.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But what
he's my kind of owner, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Real Strands playbook still.
Because where we're not on Forest before he came.
True. But then you see Tottenham have issues with, well, I mean, to be fair, as I've been doing the podcasting thing and like doing my research, and I've come to realizing that I actually don't hate Levy at all.
Oh, interesting.
That's interesting.
But we'll get there. But Levy and Marinakis are one in the same. Levy's very difficult to handle as well. So, but like Levy wouldn't go and go to UEFA. Look what Crystal Palace are doing. Like that's a bit childish.
Of course he would, bro. Of course he would, bro.
Yeah, he would, bro.
And I expect my honest to be the same as well, bro.
But 20, no, because the thing is that could have happened with Kane.
What do you mean?
Because what you call it, Man City were talking to Kane. Obviously, it happens, and this is what this whole scandal is with Morgan Gibbs White. That the club spoke to the agent and the player.
Bro, have you forgot what happened? Bro, Kane was in bondage, bro.
I understand, but
he was.
What you're saying? This didn't happen to Kane. It did happen to Kane, bro.
No, but what I'm saying is that if you do, the smart thing that Levy did over what Marinakis is doing with Gibbs White is that Levy didn't have a release clause in Kane's contract. So he was allowed to do what he was doing. Whereas if a man's release clause has been triggered, you put it in the contract. How can you now be complaining?
It's confidential.
Did you follow the protocol?
But this is my point. The protocol that they're saying has been violated is stuff that happens all the time. It's an unspoken.
But not with release clauses, though. It doesn't happen with release clauses. Is what they're trying to say.
So a release clause is like it's supposed to be secret.
No. Not all of them, but this specific release clause was confidential. So the only way it should be
with who? The agent and
with everybody. So nobody's allowed to release this. It's like there's a. What's that called when you put a block on information?
NDA.
Like an NDA on the release clause. So the only way it can be triggered is if a team bids over the amount or the specific amount.
Yeah, so they trigger it.
So is it like a lucky draw? Say for instance.
Exactly. Like when there's a reserve on a bid. The bid ends because the reserve's not met. That's exactly what would happen with them.
So if Nottingham Forest came in and said we want Gibbs White, we're offering 75 million. Do they take
Tottenham? You mean?
Would they take 75 million?
What was the trigger?
68.
Yeah, then they'll have to take it.
Take 60 or 75?
No, they'll have to take the trigger. It triggers it because it's over the trigger, isn't it?
So can whoever's most in a know or in a know, like, so what is the actual foul play? Like how was Nottingham Forest able to?
So the foul. So basically, the whole thing is, Forest were expecting a bid for Morgan Gibbs White for 80 million. And they were going to throw in Jason McAtee as part of so they would have got a replacement for Morgan Gibbs White. Right. Problem is that transfer didn't come through. And whatever, the foul play can't come from Tottenham because Morgan Gibbs White is not our player. So how will we know his release clause? Plus the agent is nothing to do with us neither. So we wouldn't know what the release clause is. However, However, that release clause has got back to Tottenham, it has. And the problem is, like, you see, I think even there was a situation where Wenger, similar.
44 plus 1.
Yeah, where he 40 million plus 1 because Wenger knew the release clause. So he just thought, all right, cool, I'll trigger it by £1.
Yeah,
or just
but
over
then
£1.
the club don't have to sell it at that. If they get a higher bid, then they're going to sell it to the highest bidder. So that's how.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's not.
yeah,
No.
the problem is
the club has to accept the bid as soon as it's triggered.
Yeah, 'cause it's-
whether
'cause
another
it's triggered.
team bids higher than it or not.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying they most likely want to go with the higher
If
bid.
it's up to
if
the
that's
player.
the case, then why didn't we
It's
get
up to-
Suarez that time?
No, but so that wasn't the actual trigger though.
It's the talk
Yeah.
to.
So
you
yeah,
have to
the
give you right
agent,
to talk to
agent,
the
Oh,
player.
yeah.
talk to him. Okay.
No. When you trigger a release clause, you have to accept the bid.
Okay.
So like, what?
But the player
then
doesn't,
it's down
the
to
player
the
doesn't have to go
It's up
there.
to the player.
Yeah, exactly.
But Suarez didn't reject it. The trigger was not correct.
Oh.
That's why it went. That's why Liverpool just was like, "What are you doing, bro? You idiots!" Like,
But I think he
basically.
was also complaining about the tapping up of the player, really. But let's if we put it into perspective, football is probably the only like industry where you can't actually go to the person you want to employ and
Well,
say,
we have
No, that's
all the
not
time,
true.
though.
Happens at work, bro. Like
Yeah, it
that's
does,
poaching at work, bro. You're not allowed to poach contractors.
yeah, no,
Non-competes
but
and stuff like that.
yeah, you're not allowed to. But the companies are still going to approach you, bro. And then they'll
Then
just
but
say
it
you
happens-
can't.
it happens
Yeah,
in
they
football
go
today,
court, bro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Players, clubs agree terms with the players, or recently agree terms with the player. Then they do the club to start.
Exactly.
No, but we don't know if the club is giving permission or not.
No, exactly.
All we just
Most
hear
of the
in
time
the news
they-
is that the
they
players
haven't.
have agreed
It's tapped
terms,
up.
isn't it? Yeah.
That's
but
the
we
whole
don't know
point.
though.
If
We
Levy
don't know.
was smart, it would have bid something like 63, and I'm like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But this is it, and this is what the problem is, and this is why they're like, you knew how did you not? Because how can you bid exactly what the
exactly.
trigger
Do you know what I
was?
think happened?
But that's
Do you know what I
that's
think
not a
happened?
bad price.
That's
It's 60
in
mil,
my
right?
mind. I'm
I
thinking.
feel like someone from Nottingham Forest sent an anonymous email to Levy and set him up, bro. Because
I reckon
the
the
way
deal's gonna get done,
Gibbs
though.
White is
No,
still
the deal
playing,
is going
bro.
to get done because Morgan Gibbs White is not even. He hasn't gone on the tour.
No, he played the other day, bro.
That's
No, he
personal
hasn't gone.
reasons.
They've gone
He
to
ain't gone on
Portugal.
top, but he played the other day though.
Yeah.
he played
Bro,
the
I
other day.
said some
Bro,
other reasons on it.
Kane played even to the last
Exactly.
pre-season. What do you call it?
Hey,
and then left before the first game of the
let
season.
Kane go, man.
Do you know what? Like when it came to Kenya, that's not to say like he's an undeniably great goal scorer. I won't take that away from him. However, with the amount of money that obviously Tottenham didn't invest it the way they should have, but for the amount of money that we received, I was looking at a rebuild because bruv, how long is it until? Not to say that the player's gonna deteriorate or anything here, but look at the issue we're having with Son now.
Yeah.
Son has gone down in terms of he's not the same Son. Let's just be real. I'm saying in terms of the speed and everything. Maybe he can still shoot given the chance.
I think if you know what's happened to Son, I think he cursed himself when he fluffed that chance against Man City a couple seasons ago, and ever since now that's the
He cursed himself. Or
yeah he cursed. I didn't. I'm a child of God.
Yeah.
Like he cursed himself, bro. You want to play like that? God said, okay, that's what you did with the talent I gave you because of Arsenal. So alright, cool. So now look what you guys have got.
Yeah, well, I mean, so like, but again, in reference to that Morgan Gibbs White comparison, the reason why Levy moved like that is because he's like, this is what we value our player. He hasn't got a release clause. So if I'm saying I want to sell him for 120, if you want him, you have to pay the money.
No, but remember, Levy had an agreement with him. That's why he was on the golf course with Gary Neville doing that interview, saying, "Bruv, we agreed and you done me." That's why Levy's worse than Marinakis, bro.
Yeah, literally.
However, when Kane got on the pitch, he didn't show that.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you call it? As a
He didn't
model
move like
professional.
Rashford, basically.
You get it? He didn't move like Rashford.
Wow, they
What's-
already
wow.
sent in Marley
Didn't it? Yeah.
Wow.
Just keeping it real,
You want
bro.
to elaborate on that? What do you mean?
Jeez.
No, we can move on, man.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
move
I
into
said what
transfers
needed
in
to
a
be
bit.
said.
We'll move into transfers in a bit before we go into it, because there's been a heated debate this week between Marley Mar and De La Strada.
I wouldn't say it was heated.
No,
Well, it was fiery in terms of like, it kept me on my toes. I was intrigued. Obviously, we're going to move into the next segment now, which is Red Devils versus the Magpie debate, which is we'll put it to you, Della. So has Newcastle overtaken United to attract the better players in today's modern game?
I'm going to say this so it doesn't get lost when we do our back and forth. And I've said it so many times in the group. There's nothing wrong with spending money. If you have it, spend it. All I was saying is, as a footballing project, right now Newcastle have a better footballing project than Man United. Trajectory, they are on a trajectory. Man United on a decline-ish.
Can I interject?
Go for it.
Well, actually, what we actually how the debate started was I think you said as a player, if you're available, Newcastle is the more appealing project than signing for Manchester United. And my rebuttal was that I wholeheartedly disagreed.
Yeah, that's essentially what Dre said. We disagreed. So that's what I'm saying. So that's the footballing project. So I know Newcastle have lost out on Cunha to United and Bremer to United, to a few other players as well. But my thing is that, generally speaking, as a footballer, Ekitike, but I didn't mention Pedro to Chelsea, but Chelsea are not.
You got to mention them all.
Yeah, but Chelsea are not Man United.
Okay.
Liverpool are not Man United. Those are clubs who are there. Yeah, Champions League. They are prestigious clubs who are doing well at what they need to be doing.
But the context is important. Like players choosing other clubs.
Yeah,
over
but
Newcastle
essentially, I'm coming from a place of just a footballing project to begin with. Yeah. Do we agree that they have a better footballing project or not?
No.
So you think Man United have a better footballing project than Newcastle?
You don't agree with that?
Why would they be? Why?
A better footballing project, just purely football, nothing else. Forget about everything else.
No, I wouldn't say so. I would think. I think Manchester United, in terms of what they aspire to be in the next 5 years, I think our ceiling is a little bit higher than what I would say Newcastle's ceiling is. Newcastle, obviously, they've obviously got the richest owners in the world now. So I think naturally, what happens with that is you probably think, all right, they're going to be a Man City. But up to now, I don't see that. I think the highest achievement, and obviously made was obviously last season with the winning of the Carling Cup, and
after 70 years.
After God knows how many years, like Manchester United won that 2 seasons ago.
That's not football.
That's not what I'm talking about. See, when I'm talking about footballing reasons, that's why I started this on a caveat. I said, if you have the money, go ahead and spend it. There's nothing wrong with going in and spend it. And I said, you guys can do that. So when I say from a footballing project point of view, I personally think Newcastle are better than Man United. But then,
can you say why?
Yeah,
why they better?
So Newcastle, I said, they're on their trajectory. The last couple of seasons, they've finished higher than United
in the Premier League.
Yeah. Fair enough. As Dre pointed out, they've won their first trophy in 70 years, but that's a club in the right direction. They've been in the final twice now. Lost to you guys, beat Liverpool, and as you mentioned, and they're more of a stable club right now.
Yeah, I think there's obviously. I think I think where the issue is, where I'm coming from, is that I think you're only judging it on their Premier League performance. And I understand, like, obviously Premier League is the bread and butter for most clubs, but there are other competitions in that teams are in. And I think Manchester United over the last 3 years, we've been in, was it 3 finals? Yeah. We've won 2 cups, and this is Man United in an absolute pit.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that.
To what you mentioned in the group was that basically Man United's nostalgia, the fact of the history, and I was basically saying that.
I said what? Sorry.
Like you say, Man United only have the history going for them. They only have the nostalgia going for them. Am I wrong?
Okay, so what I said, because you guys kept on talking about United being the global brand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, cool, that's fine. But right now, because your footballing project isn't the greatest, you need to throw the money at the players. And that's why I said, I personally think if Newcastle said to Cunha, I will give you 190 plus Champions League, and United did the same thing, I personally think he's going to Newcastle. The only reason Newcastle are losing on all these players is because they got a wage structure in place, and they're saying, we're not giving you that. So
why wouldn't they? Yeah, why do you think they'll choose like Newcastle or Manchester United?
Because as I started off with a footballing project, so because in comparison to all the other teams above you, you don't have shit going for you apart from money. So that's why you can throw money. You have to throw money.
We won trophies.
No.
And to that point, what I would say is that, like, the last time Man United won, obviously the biggest trophy in the eyes of most English fans, is the Premier League was 2013.
Yeah.
Like, I think if a player is signing for a team now, a young player, for instance, let's just say is like 18 to 20, 25 or something, for instance. Yeah, he grew up with Manchester United being successful. Like, so he knows what the capabilities of Manchester United are. Yeah. I think as a young youth growing up, for Newcastle, for instance, they're used to seeing Mike Ashley not signing anyone every. Do you know what I mean? And I think only in the past, like, 3-4 years, Newcastle are on the ascendancy of somewhat being a decent club and having decent Premier League performances. But I don't think they're anywhere near at the stature of a...
And that's what I'm saying. I never said they're on the same stature. I'm clearly saying you guys are above them as a club because you have a global brand. But in terms of footballing project, Newcastle on a trajectory where it's Man United, you are down there. And because you are down there, to attract certain players, you have to throw them the money. Hence why I'm saying, Cunha, if I personally think, Cunha, he played for Wolves. If he said, yo, Cunha, we can give you Champions League football, we've got a stable club, well, we're going to give you what you want. 190, calm. Yeah? In Bremo, you want 192? Calm. But the reason they're losing that to these players, the reason they're losing that to some of these clubs, obviously the Liverpool, no-brainer. Chelsea, no-brainer. But when it comes to Man United...
But why can't they break that structure? Is that because of their FSP? Is that mainly because...
I don't know.
Maybe it's not good business, isn't it?
Yeah,
but it's not. It can't just be not good business, Joey.
So basically, the issue with Newcastle is that, so if you're going to compare them to Man City did their transfer business before PSR kicked in.
Of course.
Newcastle could have done exactly the same thing, but PSR is restricting them from doing the same thing as Man City, so they have to work within their means. Because right now, Newcastle's probably got one of the, as much as in terms of like their top players, in terms of what they're earning salary-wise, they're not earning as much as the top players in the top 5 clubs.
Bruno G's on 180 a week.
Yeah. However, if you add all the salaries together, because all of their Newcastle's players, all of them are kind of on the same level in terms of
like between 150 and their best players anyway.
Yeah. So because of that, they are actually I think Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa's even got the tightest. They have to sell in order to.
That's right. Martinez and all of them.
So that's the issue with Newcastle, because when you was making that comparison, I was saying if Newcastle got the same investment as Man City, we'll probably be talking about Newcastle the same way we talk about Man City because of the money invested.
So it's like bad timing, you're saying.
Yeah,
but I still think in terms of their wages, I think their wages are pretty.
But
Bruno G's on 180 and he's the highest. So.
Yeah, but he's the best player as well.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you go back 10 years, Man City could have never attracted the players that they've attracted.
Exactly, and it's okay
because they've put in the work for like. In the last, 8 years, they've put in a shift where obviously the whole investment and all of that kind of stuff, where now, if Man City's going after a player, it's just as big as if Liverpool's going for a player.
But initially, for those players to come to Man City, Man City had to give them the money, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
No, but do you know why it's different though?
No, Man City, they're not. They've kind of followed the same thing, Bob, as Ineos. Like if you look at Omar Marmoush's salary, he's not getting paid.
They're on P's.
No, he's on P's.
Oh, is it?
He's on 20.
Yeah, Man City are.
But I'm talking about Man City in the beginning.
So yeah, the difference is though is that Newcastle don't really generate money outside of player sales.
290k a week, Mum.
They don't generate money. And Aston Villa don't really generate money as well. But Man United generate loads of money. So even though you're saying it's a better footballing project, which I think because they play better, more attractive football on the pitch, the only thing is that for them to attract more players,
a better project.
I think they just play better football in general. That's my reason.
Better football. They've been on a trajectory. They're a stable club. United right now,
but the thing is that they're not making money, bro. So Man United can actually. I'm just saying that Man United can have a better project over 5 years because over 5 years they can get more money to pay more players and to buy more players, whereas Newcastle are restricted to the income.
That's not what I'm talking about.
This is the problem though, because Ineos, they're also at a point where, because again, going back to the conversation that we had off camera about Marcus Rashford is about the wage bill. They're trying to actually reduce the wage bill. And
100%.
And the two signings that Man United made, because obviously there's the other caveat to that, in that there's sentimental value in that. Cunha and Mbeumo were both Man United fans growing up. So there was always gonna win on
to my point is of why Man United are more desirable. Most players like grew up like knowing that Man United are what they are. Like,
if you look in the group, I've said it's okay, but what I call bullshit on is when you say because you are this club, that's why you're attracting this player. You're attracting them because you are that club, plus you're giving them the money.
Yeah,
without that money, and that's my point.
But like, this is if Mbeumo and Cunha go to Newcastle, they're getting the same wage. I personally think.
Okay, no.
If you've got Bruno, but where did Bruno's Gimmer's come from? But Leon,
Leon,
and he's on
his second contract though.
No, this is exactly.
This is his second contract.
And then
so that's after he's proven himself in the Premier League. And Bremo and Cunha have already proved themselves in the Premier League.
But that's my point. Essentially,
but they can't come in and be the highest player in the team.
Yeah, so went from 70k a week.
No, he was on 30 or 40k.
But that's because their output in the Premier League justifies that value. In my opinion, I don't even think they're getting that game compared to other players. Like, so if I looked at the table in terms of like the highest rated, and it was SofaScore, the highest rated players.
I have 7 players on 100k plus.
Newcastle.
Yeah,
that's it.
And
the highest is
but why can't they add someone in between?
But you're missing the point.
I was going to say I was looking at the SofaScore highest rated players across the Premier League in the whole season. Bruno was in there. Bruno Fernandes. Cunha might have been, I think, third, and Bremo was fifth. So I say all that to say, their performances, like their ways that they're given, I think is representative of what they're
justified.
I still think it's kind of low.
I'm not disputing that. I'm saying that's just the difference. So when you talk about United are like, because you have the money, of course you can go and pay these players. I'm not disputing that. Well, I just call bullshit when you say we are this legacy club, so therefore we're attracting them. You're attracting them because of the money. If you didn't offer Cunha and Bremo, because if you're such as this great club with this pool, my guy came from Wolves. He supports Man United, right? If you say to him, come on lower salary, he should come because you're this great club. But they're not doing that. Rashford went to Barcelona, he took a wage cut. That's the only point I'm saying. If you're not going to give them the money, they're not coming. I don't care whether you say, I'm a fan. I'm a fan, but I've got a family to pay.
I just think that the wage is representative of what they're doing in the Premier League. Because you look at Man City. Man City are giving $290 for Mamouche, who's done nothing. But we don't say for Man City.
But you can't compare to Man City.
But what I'm saying is, we don't say the players are coming to Man City because they're going to get high wages. We don't. That argument is never.
They're winning stuff. And that's our stuff I said with the projects.
But Mamouche hasn't won anything.
No, hang on. They're winning stuff, but there's a structure already here in the club. So now you fit into that structure.
And
what Della's saying is that we're going to sign them Mbeumo and Cunha, and you're coming into the Newcastle structure where the highest is 180. So if you're now the highest paid player, that means you're the best player in the team.
And we're going to renegotiate is that.
I think not be the highest paid, the best in the club.
I think the question, because we want to clip this up. Yeah, I think the question is if Mbeumo has an option of going to Newcastle, the transfer fees all the same, the wage is all the same. Who's you going to pick?
It's going to be United.
Let's ask. Yeah, who do you think? Let's ask everyone.
Mbeumo and Cunha have already said they're
let's give an example of a non-Man United supporter.
No, but let's just ask everybody. If everything's equal, who do you think they're going to?
Yeah, that's the question. But to your point, when they're saying, we've already said, like, it's not tapping up, but it's tapping up essentially, where you sort of agree you agree the term before that. Yeah. So when you were saying, Mbeumo saying he only wants to go to United, maybe you've spoken to Arsenal. Arsenal was like, yeah, this is what we're going to offer you. Nah. Newcastle, nah. My United are going to give me 180. I'm sticking with them. And that's what I'm saying. And it's okay because you got the money to throw it.
Yeah.
But I just say, when you start saying, it's like, Rashford took a pay cut. Players should be taking a pay cut to come to your club if you're this great club. That's all I'm saying.
Rashford
I just get that as an example.
My battle is that I don't personally believe that if Mbeumo and Cunha are going to Newcastle and their output is what they've been for the past couple of seasons, I think to suggest that they're going to get less than the 180 or the 190 than what Man United are giving. I think that's inaccurate.
No, it's not because that's the club. If United wasn't in the picture, and they went from Wolves to Newcastle, and Newcastle gave them 100 or 120, they're going to take it.
No, but Cunha was already on 120 at Wolves, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's going to take it. If there's no one else, he's going to take it.
He's going to take the same, at least.
Yeah, but because United came in and offered more, of course he's going to go more. And that's the mere fact that you guys are this brand.
I don't think he'll take it.
Well, he'll stay at Wolves. So he'll stay at Wolves, fighting relegation season after season, or go to Newcastle.
Go to Newcastle on the same.
No, I'm just giving it as an example. Because my big thing, as I said, and I'll say this again, you got money, throw it. But it's because you've got the money, that's why they're coming. All the thing about, we're this great club, you just said, they've got the sentiment behind it. They are fans. But if they're fans, I'm not saying they should. I'm not saying they should.
Even if we're not a great club,
I'm not saying they
even
should.
in our worst period, we're still in cup finals. Like,
but
and
that's
that's
not what I'm
important.
saying.
That's important for players.
But bro, the other thing is as well is if you're looking at these players as well, this is no disrespect to
Go on.
Man United, but let's just go player for player. If you're looking at Man United starting 11 and you're Cunha, you're looking at this team like, I'll walk into this team.
Of course.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? In
Yeah.
Buemo, the same. Because
He's thinking that with Newcastle though, because he'll get another Gordon.
Nah, I don't think so.
see, no, but this is what I'm saying. He'll be battling.
I think it might be tight.
Yeah,
Yeah, because Anthony Gordon.
Bro, Anthony Gordon's in the top three. Bro, he's in the top three wingers in terms of output and everything.
But the stats are there, bro. Like,
So like, you know, like if you check Y Scout's another one similar to Sofa Score. Anthony Gordon, if you try and look at in terms of everything that you're looking for a winger, Anthony Gordon comes up in your top three in the top 5 leagues in Europe. The only other 2 wingers that's a better dribbler than him in the top 5 leagues in Europe is Kudus and Yamal. Those are the only 2. Other than that, he like, so it's one of those ones
I'll
where it's
take out your word.
like if Mbeumo went to
You sure they didn't put Noni? Because all of a sudden Noni Madueke is the best.
Yeah, bro.
Are you sure he's not in there? As well?
No. Madueke was in there.
He's a carrier, progressor.
Even Garnacho was in there. Like in the top 10 wingers in the in Europe, these players are there. Madueke is even there in terms of his like ball carries, in terms of his take-ons and all that kind of stuff. So it's one of those ones where even you, because like, if I'm going to even use Kudus as an example, Kudus had he was given 2 contract options, one from Chelsea, one from Tottenham. Yeah. Now, the reason why I think he chose Tottenham is because of the fact that he knows that if he comes to Tottenham, he's walking into that team. Chelsea, on the other hand, because if you've got and this is the question that was being asked, it also depends on the ambition of the player. You can be at a top team and sit on the bench the whole time and be fighting for your place, or you can go to a team and just walk in and be that guy in that team. Do you get what I'm trying to say? For then your later on progression, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
So you see, like, Della, you see, like, when you're obviously versing your argument and you say that Newcastle's got a better project. So do you think, like, if starting from last season and counting the next 4, so the next 5 years, including last year, do you think Newcastle will maintain a position or have a better project than Manchester United's next 5 years could potentially?
Next 5 years.
Next 5 years, including last season.
Yeah, including last season. Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Because can I
make it a tangible question? Like, who do you think would win the most trophies in the next 5 years between Newcastle and Manchester United?
But it's not just about that, because what are United are United okay? Who's got a better trajectory right now? United or Arsenal?
Right now,
Yeah,
Arsenal.
yeah, and Arsenal haven't won shit. United have won how many? Cups.
Three in the last.
Exactly. So
4 years.
so them things that it's irrelevant. We can't just say cups. It's all about how you perform. Obviously, cups matter as well. They contribute, but there's more to it than cups. It's how you also perform in your league.
There's a slight difference though, because obviously Arsenal are the elite team in the
No,
but Newcastle aren't that level.
No, but he's saying that
Newcastle's like a team that
what was your
doesn't win
question?
trophies and they're not elite.
Yeah, but
Who's going to win the most trophies in the next 5 years?
I'm not saying you're only saying this because, and this is no disrespect to Arsenal as well, but like Arsenal's project, and in terms of how we see Arsenal's project now, we've only really seen the fruition of it in the last 3-4 years, if we're going to be honest. Because prior to that, when Arteta first came, I remember Arsenal fans wanted his head, like the beginning stages, the teeth in the what do you call it, the teething stages
Like
of the what do you call it. Now, the difference between Ineos and Arsenal, when Arsenal had their project, is that Arteta and Edu had a very good relationship. Obviously, Edu played with Arteta at Arsenal as well. So basically, anything that Arteta really asked, he had more. I don't even think Arteta's got that much coverage over the transfers now that this new guy's come in, because Berta, because Berta's very, very possessive when it comes to thing, and he's got history of that. Whereas Arteta had more flexibility on the transfers, because I'm sure there's players that Arteta wants to bring through, but if Berta's not approving it, it's not going to happen. Whereas with Edu, he had that kind of
I think Arteta still does have an element of power there. But I mean, how does that? So the point that you're making, is that in support of? Because I'm trying to work out
because
in terms of. So where do you think who's got the better project? If you're thinking about Newcastle and United,
so if I'm going to look at right now for Man United to get back to if you want to call it where we're even talking about them like the same way as Chelsea, the way that we're talking about Chelsea now, is going to take a lot of investment, because that team you can't even say you know what Man United are doing when they come to play. You don't know how they're playing. At least with Arsenal, you know that this is their style of play. Even Newcastle, Brentford, you know what their style of play is. Man United, you don't even know what it is. And they've had 3 different managers that's tried to implement their style of play, and nothing has flourished from it.
So paint a picture for me. So let's say next 2 years, where do you envision Newcastle? Where do you envision Manchester United in terms of Premier League status? What are they competing for?
So right now,
because you can never know who's going to win the trophies or whatnot. But
cool. So right now, there's this conversation of PSR, isn't it? In terms of them having this conversation.
Right,
If they decide to basically revert back to factory settings, Newcastle will be a team to watch because they've got the money to do it. They're basically Man City times.
They just have to stay afloat, and when they're ready, bang.
They just but right now, what the difference between Man United and Newcastle is that Newcastle's been able to maintain a certain level in terms of football. Obviously, there's certain things that they've had to learn. Teething stages again. Their team couldn't handle. What was it? Champions League, Europa League. That was in. And thing the same way Tottenham, we couldn't handle Europa League and the league at the same time because of the depth. Right now, Newcastle, even their second team when they're playing like FA Cup, League Cup, and that, they're still strong. If they decide to they'll replace Anthony Gordon with Harvey Barnes. You haven't really lost much. That's the squad depth. Prior to that, they didn't really have that. Man United, they haven't even got squad depth in their starting 11, let alone the subs bench. And it come like this not. But
I'm trying to be serious, but he's like laughing.
It's a real rebuild.
Right now, Man United it's a graveyard. But there's certain play. Højlund, I remember we was talking Rasmus Højlund. When Man United goes like, oh my god.
But even in the period of being a graveyard, we're still. We're winning the Carling Cup, the cup that Newcastle celebrated, had an open top bus for. We're winning the FA Cup, and we are trash. So what we're speculating, or we're speculating that Man United are going to stay garbage, bro. That's what we're speculating. Even if you're garbage, we're winning trophies.
Yeah, but that doesn't still make you a progressive club. That's all I'm saying.
But all we're talking about is the value to a player.
But you see your tangibles, MGs, if you don't mind me stepping in, sorry, because obviously I noticed that you're putting a lot of like weight and value on the trophies
for a player.
So
remember Mbeumo, Cunha coming from Wolves, Brentford, not won anything. Don't get sniffed up silverware.
And that's fine. So I'm just thinking, if you were in their shoes, a player, do you think that would be enough to go into a whole club on the proviso that we might get a good cup run again with Manchester United, we might get a final, and you're basing that based on
the reason why, like, and I said in the group as well. I think for a player, they look at way more than just cups are obviously one thing.
Finances plays a big part as well.
Finances, branding. Man United are a way bigger club than Newcastle globally. So naturally, as a player that wants to obviously elevate his career, you go to Manchester United and automatically like there's eyes on you. These are all tangibles for
those tangibles.
I agree with you, but then if I'm gonna caveat that with, but right now, if you're gonna talk about top 3 strikers in the world, you're gonna mention Isak.
Yeah.
You're going to, and he plays for Newcastle.
And he wants to leave.
Cool. But if Newcastle, because there was points where, like, for example, when Man City was on the come up, where they even started picking up Aguero and that, there might have been players that wanted to leave at that point.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? But the difference between Man City and Newcastle is that Newcastle hasn't got a name brand manager. The time when Man City was coming up, they had Mancini. So who you're playing
it does
for,
lend into the whole project conversation because it's just trying to work out if you're the player. So how Marley Miles just described it. Let's do the verses. So okay, brand development, notoriety. Maybe a cup final or a good cup run based on Manchester United's previous trend. And obviously what Della's saying, wages, And then versus it with Newcastle, a progressive team, playing attractive football, a manager who's in development, who has proven that he not only develops players, but he can keep his team with a shoestring budget at a high competitive level. And now you're playing Champions League football, whatnot. But you might not get the same amount of P's. You're not going to get the same amount of brand notoriety.
Wait. And bear in mind that you're Mbeumo, you're African. You have to send money back. No, exactly. Cunha, you got to send money back to Brazil as well.
We're convoluting all I'm saying.
Yeah, you're taking away from the football. But
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Purely football, it's Newcastle. When you bring it, and that's what I said. United global brand. cool. But if you're not giving me the money to go with this global brand, I'm not coming to your club.
But that's
all I'm saying.
But I think in this, that's unrealistic though. Like it can't just
it's
be
been
about
okay,
football.
It's not about whether it's realistic or not. I think it's a good point that he's raising.
A conversation we've been having. Whether it's fact or what, this is just this, and that was the base of my conversation. I said, right now you guys are in the dump. Yeah,
and what you said is a player would choose Newcastle over.
Exactly, and that's what I said. And I said
that's the point I disagree with.
But I've said it sometimes. I said they would choose for footballing reasons. They will choose Newcastle, but they will go to United for the money. That's all I'm saying, and that's facts.
So you see what you see what
I don't think it's
like,
fact,
I agree with what you're saying, and like in terms of what you were saying. As we were talking about this PSR thing, because there's been talk that if this PSR thing, what do you call it? The same way Chelsea did it. When Abramovich took over, he brought in a name brand manager.
To be fair, I think even Newcastle, even with this PSR constraint, I think Newcastle could probably still explode, but they just have to maybe...
How though?
They have to tell Isak. Sometimes you've got to sell your big assets.
I think that was a big mistake. I think that was a big mistake not selling him.
What, this season?
Yeah,
100%.
Do you know?
Because the most important thing, exactly, first of all, they just qualified for Champions League.
Yeah.
As GoldKay said, that last time they were there, the squad depth wasn't there. So Isak is like your prize asset. He's the one person you can probably bank on and say, you know, that he will keep us in the Champions League, because
MVP.
the more times you're playing Champions League, the more you're creating a gap between the ones that don't qualify and the ones that do qualify for Champions League. So you can't sell him this season. You have to keep him unless it's set to. But you sell him and bring in who?
Yeah, but my thing is that you got back Eddie Howe to bring
that's a very big gamble.
No, what Newcastle have done, and I'm sure you'll agree with this, you guys are really good with like player acquisition, identifying a player, and look at why couldn't you do it again? Like, if you sold Isak, why couldn't...
I'm not disputing that, but is that to how long before he
But you're not going to get the same amount of money next season, though.
But that doesn't matter. That's what I'm saying. The most important thing that matters is you try to stay in Champions League again, so you get the money again. And then that's it.
But I'm just saying, but what I'm saying is, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm just saying if they did, like, let's say they was able to get a 130, 150,
and then who do you bring in?
Whatnot, they could have brought in Ekitike that Liverpool went to.
But why are they? Why are they missing out on all these?
They could have got
for the
another
wages.
No, it's not just wages.
The reason I said it from the very beginning. If Newcastle versus Liverpool, Liverpool wins. Newcastle versus Chelsea, Chelsea wins. Newcastle versus Man United, all debatable, but you're not going to give. Let me finish.
Debatable, bro.
Okay, let me finish. It's debatable, but guess what? Newcastle, we're not going to give you the wages that you want, even though we can.
You're assuming that. You're assuming that. Newcastle just qualified for Champions League. Newcastle just qualified for Champions League.
But you know the structure.
Hold on, let me put into context. You know what about Gahey though? Why
that was last season, and Palace didn't want
70 million.
But Palace didn't want to sell. No, they had the asking price, and Newcastle didn't want to meet it.
But what about this season though?
They haven't gone in for him. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying why?
I don't know, bruv. I don't know why they haven't gone in for him.
If they lose out, let's say he goes Liverpool for 40 million. I don't understand it.
What's that got to do with the price of milk right now?
I'm saying, why are they not enticing the players in?
Yeah, it's important.
But
they're trying to shade Newcastle.
No, but that's
no.
It's a fair one.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm very clear with what I said from the very beginning.
So my only issue is, Della, you're saying they've whatever you said about them not going in for Gyokeres this season, but you're adamant that these guys have chosen Man United over Newcastle for money, but you don't have any evidence for that. That's my only thing.
It's just making assumptions. We don't know the fact. My assumption is, okay, the highest player at Newcastle is getting 180.
Yeah.
If someone comes,
Man United is getting 190, by the way, 198.
the highest player at Man United.
Under Ineos, which is
no, that doesn't. No, it's not
important because they haven't broken this one.
It's not important because Rashford and thingy.
Under new wage structure.
But it doesn't matter though, bro.
Of course it matters.
It doesn't matter. Why does it matter, bro?
At the end of the day, Newcastle, they have a structure and they're keeping with it. And as I said, Liverpool, we can't compete. Chelsea, we can't compete. United, we can probably compete, but unless we match the wages. And if we're not matching the wages, of course they're going to say, you know what, fuck it. I'll go to United because they've got the history and they're giving me the money. That's what I said from the very beginning, and that's what I'm going to close on. Like, you've got the money, that's it.
All right, so Strabs, who would you go to?
I think right now, if you're offering me a 2-3 years, right now, I'm getting the same money, same everything. I have to go to Newcastle because, but my personality trait is I back myself anyway.
Yeah.
So I would go there thinking, all right, cool, I can explode
with that location as well.
So,
Brendan
Nah,
came from
thing
Wolves,
as well.
bro.
That's a big
My
thing,
guy
bro.
came from Wolves. What
I
did
get you,
location?
but
What's location got to do with it?
There's not that much difference between the Newcastle and Manchester.
No, there is.
Nah, it's a long
For
No,
me,
no,
Manchester
forget
is a
Manchester.
major
exactly,
city.
yeah.
No, bro,
Yeah,
forget
I'm just saying for me.
It's the third biggest city in the UK, yeah?
No, I'm not talking about on everyone. I'll just talk about for me.
Oh,
'Cause
right.
No, but
You
no.
guys actually asked me.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
But forget.
You know I love Newcastle.
Yeah, you really do.
But no, forget that.
really does.
Alright, here we go.
But Cunha,
Here we go.
Cunha came from Wolves.
Sorry, say that again.
Cunha came from Wolves. Why did he not go
from
Newcastle?
Rome. That's true.
No, but that Wolves is Birmingham though.
Yeah, it's
But
true.
words
second biggest city in the
none. Wolves is a shithole.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Newcastle's like in the middle of
Buddy,
nowhere,
man.
bro.
But-
Like,
but-
you're
but-
you're
but to
fat.
your point-
The point I'm
your
making,
point-
by the way,
not valid.
I think you made some strong points,
Yeah.
by the way, Marley Mar. So I'm not, like, I was actually thinking about it. Like, I think if it was, that's why I was thinking, over 3-4 years, if Ruben can somehow figure it out, whatnot, you probably could catch up to the momentum that Newcastle has amassed and maybe overtake because you have
And
Wait,
they-
when you say
and they
momentum,
got
what do you mean?
no, because their momentum is obviously they've got momentum. They've just won a trophy and they're in the Champions League. They've got probably the best, or at least one of the best strikers in Europe at the moment. You know what I mean? They've got momentum.
finishing high positions
Yeah,
as
but
well.
yeah,
Higher
and
positions.
they're-
And consistently.
And their
Yes.
gaffer
That's
and their
it.
gaffer's showing that he can not just do it one time, he can do it 2 times, and he can keep elevating. So that's momentum. That's not to say you guys can't achieve that in the next 2 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's gonna.
But in order for them to cheat,
it's
what
gonna
did they have to
take-
do?
yeah, it's
That's
got- it's
that's
gonna-
it.
But
take some
Strives,
time. We've got to wrap
you're
this
saying
now.
Newcastle. Sorry, who you
Just
saying?
ask the people the
I'm saying
question.
Newcastle as well.
So I
Because the
would
thing is, somebody brought up like, why didn't what do you call it?
go here.
Gahey. Because the thing is, at the time that they were bidding for Gahey, there was an issue. They needed to get in there because I think at the time they had Dan Burn that was out and they had Fabian
Oh,
Schär.
okay.
that
Yeah,
was
but
out as
my
well.
whole point is though, with a lot of these things, we know that you can, if you can tap up a player, or you just get your business in early.
But
Because
they
that
are-
might
they-
be
they are
be
okay.
the issue most of the
They're
time.
not complaining. They've got the
Yeah,
wage
maybe they
structure.
don't care
Okay,
about
we
Gahey
can't get
anymore.
Cunha.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck it. We'll go and get Elanga. Maybe Elanga may prove to be a better signing for Newcastle, for
Yeah.
the club. That's it.
But is that their level though?
Well,
do you know? But
in
then-
terms of who I would choose, I think I would choose Man United because my issue with Newcastle is the income for the PSR. They don't generate enough money.
So why are you choosing Man United?
Because Man United basically they generate money.
So
they
you're
have,
going there for money?
Hang on. No.
No,
they have
no.
income, which means
Sure.
they
So the
next
project-
season
Going for a
they
sure.
can invest. The season after
But there's
they
no
can invest.
guarantees.
No, the
that is a
guarantee is that they
guarantee.
have income.
That is
They're
a
the highest
guarantee.
turnover in
What do you
team.
mean?
They're
So
the
if they don't get Champions League, where did they get the money from?
from global brand, innit?
Yeah.
Okay, so
They didn't
so
have
they
Champions
money
League.
now
They
from-
didn't have
Yeah,
Champions
but
League. Hang
you know
on.
their
They didn't have
profits
Champions
have
League
dropped
last
to-
season.
Exactly, they
No,
didn't.
but
even if they are, they're still
but it
way
doesn't
down
matter about your
Newcastle,
profits.
come
It matters about your income and your avenues to income. So you have to bear in mind, Man United are still turning over the highest in the Premier League, bro. Like
So what does that
even though
mean?
they're bet below, so that means they have. If we look at it from like a stock market position, like they're at the bottom.
as a
We're buying cheap.
As
If
a
you go to Man
businessman,
United, you're
going-
buying cheap.
Yeah, no, as a businessman, you're going there. But bro, to play football and where you want to play, you're going United.
Bro, I've seen but Amarim is a capable manager, bro. Well, I've seen him be a capable manager. So
But there's a lot of caveats there. Though.
there is.
You said
I don't know. I don't
Newcastle.
mean to put it all towards trophies.
we've got to wrap
but
this section.
What
Yeah,
club do you think is going to be more successful?
I think Manchester United.
Same.
See,
GoldKay, who you going to?
He's a-
do you know what it is?
He don't
Is
like.
that
He don't like
Newcastle?
Man United.
Sure.
He don't like Man United.
No,
Nah, I
I'm
see it,
giving
I
you
see it, I see it.
250. He's
I see it, I see it, I see it.
You know what? After Tottenham, yeah, Man United was actually because of Eric Cantona. I used to love him. So
yeah,
because
I
of
love
that,
that guy, man.
like Man United was my second team. However, if I'm gonna because bruv, like when I was growing up, Everton was like in the top 4 when they had like Duncan Ferguson and all them kind of players there, and what do you call it? Newcastle had all Shearer and Keith Gillespie and all those kind of players there, bruv. Right now, I'm gonna be honest because Amarim is still an unknown. Like we're like
I agree with that.
like we're moving like some of these. Even for us as Tottenham, Thomas Frank is proven at a certain level. Is he proven at our level?
Yeah.
Again, it's another unknown. The same way Ekitike coming to the Prem, he might have done well in Germany.
Yeah.
Him being there is unknown. Elanga was the price that he was because he's proven himself in the Prem. The Prem is a whole different animal. If you can perform in the Prem, this is the reason why they're talking about
but what's he really
Douglas
done,
Luiz coming back.
What's he really done?
He's a United hater. I mean, he's
what's
a
he
United
really
fan. He
done,
doesn't
bro?
like players that
Elanga,
leave
what-
Man United
what-
and go on to do
what's he
okay.
done?
Elanga had a good season last season,
wait,
bro.
no,
He had a good season, but what has he done?
He's done better.
What do you mean?
What's that-
He-
what's
he-
that-
he-
what's
the whole
50
team
million,
player in your
55
season.
million.
You say that, yeah, but remember, the 55 million is not necessarily just based on the player, it's based on his contract as well. You have to buy him out of his contract. So if he had 4 years left on his contract, you have to pay for that, as well as whatever it is that is on top of his what's it called? If you look at Elanga got what a GA return of 21 last season, which was like, I think
if
it's like,
you're a Newcastle player and you see Elanga walking through the door, are you excited?
He's a good player.
Well,
You know,
it depends.
it's-
It
it's-
depends.
I'm saying to get to that project.
Let me tell you this.
If
It
we
doesn't-
do this,
No,
I'm not excited.
No, let me tell you this. It doesn't matter whether you're excited. I'm gonna try to say it doesn't matter whether you're excited.
If the truth be told, in Buemo, two seasons ago, we're not talking about 70 million for him.
Of course not. But they'll justify it.
But right now, he moves the needle
he
at
got
your team because
yeah.
if you look at the players at your team, Ahmad is your. Ahmad after Bruno Fernandes,
Elanga
Ahmad is your
doesn't
best
say
player.
that.
Yeah,
Let's not to be fair.
to respond to Dre's point, when you're saying, are we excited? Okay, guess what? I don't think Newcastle were excited about Barnes, but you were excited about Anthony, right? Yes, you were.
Why do you think they wasn't excited about Barnes?
No, he's saying, do you think Newcastle were excited about Elanga? I'm just giving you an example.
Okay.
The players came in and guess where they finished? Above United. Twice in a row. So when you could talk about, are Newcastle going to be excited? If they make it work, they make it work. You got 5 players on your books that you signed: Sancho, Anthony, obviously you got Rashford, and they haven't worked, bro. So it's not about bringing excitement. It's about getting the right players into your club and making it work.
That's what it's about.
There we go.
It's about winning trophies.
Yeah,
It's about winning trophies. That's what it's about.
You know what?
It's about winning trophies, bro.
I heard about the host didn't say that. The host said about excited.
That's it.
No, because I'm talking about
excitement means absolute.
I'm here to talk the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yeah, because to his point, if you look at PSG's team when they had Neymar, Messi,
that was very exciting.
It was exciting, but it didn't work. But right now they have a team that is demoralizing teams left, right, and 4-0's normal.
Bar Chelsea.
Bar Chelsea. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a team now. But if you look at the team, who's their star player? We're going to say Ousmane Dembele, Kevin Spelio, whatever his name is, Fabian Ruiz. Like these players.
It's more of a team game. I think that's what Della's trying to point to as well.
I'm just saying.
So it's not about big brand players. It's about
fitting the profile.
It's about results.
Is that results and the team?
Bro, why are you saying
playing
that like
together?
you didn't ask the question?
You're saying about results.
Like you asked about the exciting and now you're trying to
I don't see this. I'm this.
Man United could use Elanga right now.
Of course, bro. He'll be their savior.
I liked him when he was with us, to be honest. But anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to your team. Time's running against us.
Remember to ask the question. All right, so we're gonna put it to the listeners. We're gonna ask the question: who would a player would rather? What's the question? If you're a player available, what's the more desirable location?
Yeah, what's the more
No,
attractive?
location. No, don't say
No,
location.
he
Say
said
team.
football project. He said football project.
Like,
No, but we didn't. That wasn't it.
why you say location?
What's the more desirable club?
Yeah, club. Say dates. Yeah.
What's the more attractive
Sorry,
destination
okay,
for a
because
player?
Newcastle was dumped.
Whatever
That's
you wanna
the
call it.
question.
What's the more desirable club for a player?
You know, location
Newcastle or
part of
Manchester
club, but
United.
his argument was football, though.
I'll let that guy ask the question. Man.
No, because like, this guy's a goalpost mover, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that? Did I mean the goalpost
Yeah,
then?
because his argument was about football project.
So the question, yeah,
Go on.
if you were a player
Yeah.
and you had an option to go to Newcastle, who are in the Champions League, who are on a trajectory.
No, you're adding.
No, that's the question. That's the question. Versus a Man United who appear to be on a decline.
You've got two options. You've got two options as a
No,
player.
but-
We're complicating it.
You're going to get the same wage at both clubs.
That's not.
Which
No,
one are you
don't
picking?
we don't have to state the obvious.
You don't say nothing
Because really, it's true.
But when you say Newcastle, it includes
Right now,
everything
let's
you
say
just said.
everything.
When you say Man United, it includes Dudu. When you say Newcastle, it
It is
includes
what
high
it is.
trajectory.
Right, okay, ask the question.
You're a player with an offer of
Exactly.
the same wage at both clubs, Manchester
Exactly.
United and
Who are you
Newcastle.
going
Which
to?
one are you
That's
picking?
the
Right now.
That's it.
Right now, yeah.
Is that yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as today though.
Yeah, today.
right now,
Yeah,
right
not
now.
like 5 years down the line or 5 years before. Right now.
Wait, so that's including Mbeumo and Cunha being at the club?
No, that's before them.
Okay, yeah, before, yeah.
All right, anyway, let's move on to the next section quickly. We spent too long on that, but it was interesting to hear. GoldKay, coming to you. Let's talk about Spurs. Obviously, you've signed Kudus.
Yeah.
Is that a marquee signing, or are you going to buy basically more players to include in Frank's build moving forward?
See, the thing is, yeah, there's a lot of
I'm so sorry about this. Just before you get into all that,
Yeah,
because I've never really asked you, how did you feel about Ange? And how did you feel about and then obviously you didn't really
He needs to do this in 2 minutes.
yeah, no,
You have to take advantage of this opportunity.
No, it's a good point. Nah, fair play.
No, do you know what it is? Yeah. So Ange did what we didn't think was going to happen. Do I think he deserved like another year to see how it happened based on how everything is going on right now in terms of the willingness to invest? I think yes, because last year we had a lot of problems and we didn't have squad depth at all. Like after the first 11, there's a lot of teenagers. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So on that basis, yeah, I mean, it's unacceptable in terms of where we finished in the league. And to be fair, you can't open your mouth and say, oh yeah, we basically deaded the league so that we can win the Europa League, because we could have lost the Europa League final.
That's why I thought he was mad.
Yeah, but
he won the Europa.
And that was a mic drop. Like, I win a trophy my second season, and that's exactly what he did. So
And now it's giving you guys chess, because look at how you even started this episode. You started talking about Arsenal in Europe.
Yeah.
Like you guys, you've rubbished him now. You've thrown him away.
But me personally, I just feel like what I will miss about Ange is because there's not many managers that have charisma. Like, I used to actually look forward to his press conferences to hear what he was gonna say.
Did you look forward to his football?
Definitely not.
Do you know what it is? Because I like when we were linked to Ange, I actually went to go look at a lot of Celtic matches, and yeah, cool. Celtic is basically the Liverpool of Scotland right now. Yeah, like they just win everything and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. However,
I mean Liverpool. Let's just say the Bayern.
Bit generous.
Germany.
Yeah. No, that's what I said at the moment. I said at the moment. But like, if you look at the way that they actually played football, Celtic, they were organised. Now the issue is, do you have the players that have the technical ability to play how you want to play? Because I would ask the question: if Kudus was the winger for Ange, you're in an Ange system, would he outperform Brennan Johnson? 100%. Brennan Johnson cannot dribble to save his life. He can't take on players. He's that player that comes in at the back post. That doesn't help us as a team. Yeah. If your general gameplay, you're not involved in the game, you're waiting for the ball to come to you. And it was just chaos. And then all of the injuries as well, but we're playing flipping Archie Gray centre-back. He's an 18-year-old boy who's a central midfielder. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So there was a lot of caveats that brought us to where we were last season. But on the flip side of it, I'm happy with the appointment of Thomas Frank. And already you can actually see, like even our pre-season friendly against Reading the other day, you can see that literally when we've lost the ball, you can literally see the formation change on the pitch. Like literally, you can see how every player knows where to be. Whereas with Ange, it was kind of like free for all, like high line, but no one knows where they're going. No one knows what they're doing, and everybody's kind of all running in the same place. So our play started to get predictable. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
I think under Thomas Frank, he could like bring you back into the conversation, like because it was. I mean, it was a one-off season in the sense that Spurs haven't been finishing 17th every year. But under Ange, I'm with you. I probably would have given him another chance, just purely because of the trophy win, and there was an unprecedented amount of misfortune and the amount of injuries. But with the Thomas Frank acquisition, I do think like he can make you sturdy enough to at least keep you at a position where you don't drop below it. Like let's say top 8. Let's make that top 8. You shouldn't go below the 8, and then you should actually be looking up depending on who you sign and whatnot. Yeah. The unknown though is how does he deal with a bit more expectation, which then comes a bit more pressure. And obviously you've got, I always don't know whether to call him Levi or Levy, but you've been calling him Levy. And then you've got that tyrant as your boss. Like, how do you like balance it all and then basically propel Tottenham into the top 4, which is where you want to be? Yeah,
I think that the issue that we've had all along is that we've held on to players for sentimental reasons. So like players like Ben Davis, who, to be fair, very reliable. So I get why they've kept him on, and he's a good spirit. So he's good to have around the changing room in that. But there's a lot of players that we did have who just didn't fit the system. And that to be fair, that's probably what Man United is experiencing now. They just have players that just don't fit the way Amorim wants to play. But obviously he was kind of threatened, innit? Like he's like, but now or never type thing. So he just had to jump at the opportunity. So maybe once he gets all of these players, that will fix it. But Tottenham didn't have the players to play the Ange system at all. We didn't have a DM. You need a DM. We don't have one. Our midfield is full up of a lot of eights. We've got like trying to fit, what do you call it? Square pegs in round holes. That's basically what we were doing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that doesn't help a team, doesn't give it any structure or anything like that. And like again, I'll use Man United as an example. Onana, but before Onana came to Man United, he was one of the best goalkeepers in the world.
Yeah.
But without a good defense in front of him, how do you expect Onana to do his job?
So you're thinking Onana's been scapegoated a bit?
Yeah, of course, 100%.
A little bit, but he has been a bit poor at times as well.
I mean, but yeah,
the errors he's created, some silly errors.
But the thing is, the errors that he's created, is it due to the fact that he doesn't trust his defense? Because that's where most goalkeepers struggle. If the goalkeepers don't trust the defense, they tend to flap at stuff. They tend to they're not even too sure where to pass it. Because if I pass it to this defender,
but when I put into context, though, I think we played Brighton last year. They just whipped the ball in. He went to dive for it, and the ball just went under him, and then they just tapped it in. So
but I do feel like he's a typical African player. Though. He does a lot.
He does
of stuff
have a
for the
mistake.
camera.
He has a mistake in him.
He does a lot of stuff for the camera. Like some dives he doesn't need to do, but he knows that the cameras are on him, so he'll do it. Like
just
needs
to keep it simple, man.
I heard that. I mean, there's a lot more to support that theory than not, because he's done some stuff.
Yeah, crazy stuff, bro. Crazy stuff.
But yeah, alright, cool. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. And I was gonna say, obviously, with Frank in there now, and obviously him being at Brentford, and him with Levi or Levy, as you say, is that the approach that they want? This kind of data analytical kind of transfer window where they can actually pick up bargains and probably get more buck for their money, because that's what Frank's been doing.
So I don't know if you know, but 4 of the 8 people that Frank came to Tottenham with were actually at Tottenham anyway. So Justin Cochran, he was actually at Tottenham before he went to Brentford.
So the black
England.
guy?
Yeah, the black guy. So he was already at Tottenham. So he already understands the culture of in terms of how we want to play, because he was working with the youth, he was working with the under-21. So he already understands it. If you look at the way that Brentford recruited, like, they were very intentional about their recruitment. So they did go on because there's a certain type of player that Frank wants. And if you're not if you're not that type of player on the metrics, he's not even looking at you. Like, you got to be hardworking, you got to be tenacious, you got to be basically ready to run. So that's why even right now we're being linked to players like Conor Gallagher, who, me personally, I think he's a good player. Does he move the needle at Tottenham? Probably not. However, there's certain aspects of his game where there's certain Tottenham players that don't have it. So if you do have a Conor Gallagher in your team, depending on the type of team that you're playing against, he works for a certain system. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Problem with Ange is that there's this whole theory of just having one way of playing. Yeah. Whereas for certain teams, against certain teams, certain low block, all of that kind, Kudus, for example, moves the needle when it comes to playing against low block teams, because he will dribble, he will go to the bar line, all that kind of stuff.
I hate that guy, bro.
Kudus?
Yeah, he destroys Liverpool, man.
But Tottenham don't have a player like that.
So he is a marquee signing.
Yeah, 100%. Anyone that moves the needle in your team, anyone that walks straight into your team should be considered as a marquee signing.
Doesn't Kulusevski do what Kudus does in terms of he's dribbling and...
See, do you know what? See, Kulusevski is a very interesting player because he's not the quickest, but he knows how to use his body a certain way. He's a very technical player, and Kulusevski's not a winger. He's actually a number 10. So he's a support striker. But again, square pegs and round holes. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Okay, so like Kudus, everybody's been, because everyone's jumping on me like, 55 million for Kudus. Look what he did last season, past season.
Overpaid.
Yeah, they think that we overpaid for Kudus.
But look at the season prior.
He got 28 GA the season prior, and
I think that's a very good purchase for Tottenham.
And the fact that if you look at the stats from the season before to now, or last season, the season before, he was played in 2 positions, left wing or right wing. The season just gone, he played in 6 positions. Central mid, he's played as a number 8, number 10, left winger, right winger, and a support striker and striker. How do you expect to get consistent output from a player that you're playing in multiple positions like that? It's never going to happen that way. So it's one of those ones where like even with Tottenham right now, like there's so many issues we need to sort out. Solanke, I love his work rate, yeah, but like, bruv, anytime he's in front of goal, I'm not confident at all.
Yeah.
At all. Son's declined.
I know a Tottenham fan. He was actually gonna come on this pod probably today, but he pussied out. So big you up for rolling. And he's not having Solanke.
It's the thing is Tottenham's problem last season is that we didn't cross the ball. We hardly crossed the ball. If Pedro Porro's not on that pitch, that ball's not getting crossed in.
He did it against United, and you see.
Well, exactly. Just put it in the box. But Ange wants you to literally walk the ball in, and that got frustrating. And Solanke where was he at? Not for Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, yeah.
10 out of his 19 goals in the Premier League was from balls being crossed into the ball, into the box.
Yeah.
So clearly he's not one of them, like,
Back to goal.
do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I feel like Tottenham need this. But we got this youngster called Will Lancashire. He's he's positional plays better than Solanke's, and he's in that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So
I'm taking Holland off us, man.
Oh God!
Desperate times,
Come grab Hoyland from us,
So
please.
you don't think there's anything there for Solanke? Because I didn't want him to leave when he left Liverpool as well to go Bournemouth, because I think he's a good striker, man.
He's not a killer. You want your striker to be an absolute animal. You want your striker in some way.
And you've come from Harry Kane as well.
Yeah, do you get it? Like you want your striker to be selfish. Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Solanke, you've got the ball. You're in front of the goal. Instead of you to just have a crack, you're gonna pass it to Johnson, or you want to lay off Son. Shoot. And you see, that's the difference between Solanke and, I kid you not, bro. If we could keep Richarlison fit, Richarlison's a better striker than Solanke. Easy.
Okay.
Richarlison's better in the air. Richarlison.
I don't think he's better than there.
Are you what?
No,
Richarlison's good in the air though. I don't know.
So Solanke good in there as well.
Richarlison's better than the air.
It's just
Richarlison will
his
score from
injuries.
outside of the box.
Yeah,
You can, yeah.
Bruv,
And he's more of a pest.
the 12 games
He's
that
definitely a pest as well.
Bruv, the 12 games that Richarlison played for Tottenham last season, bro. Bruv, he scored 6, got 4 assists. That's 10 GA in 12 games, bro. But people don't talk about it because he's always injured.
Wait, was that in Europa though?
What? Well, 12 games in all competitions, yeah.
He's stat padding in Europa still.
But Solanke was in the same competition though.
No, but I'm not saying that he's.
And Solanke played more games.
But
Richarlison's got more of an
He's a
output.
good player, man. I think Frank could be one of those managers that could
100%.
probably bring the best out of him.
100%.
Who's Solanke?
Yeah, I think so,
100%.
man.
Like, I think he definitely I think this season you'll see a lot more of him.
I
as
hope
well.
so.
I think he'll utilise him in the same way you utilise Ivan Toney in thingy, because Solanke is a very physical presence. Don't get me wrong though, Richarlison is a pest and he's very aggressive. Solanke's not as aggressive, but I've seen him bad up some big centre backs in the Premier League.
When we bidded for Solanke, bro, Tony was still in the market.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I didn't get it. I would take Tony now.
You can't afford him.
Yeah, his wages are nuts, bro.
Well, I mean, with this new investment that's coming in right now, it moves the needle.
Well, Tottenham.
I've been hearing that they got. They got like a sugar daddy or something.
Swear down. I didn't hear that, boy.
Bro, do you think Tottenham would go? When have you ever heard Tottenham go for 2 players over 60 million in the same transfer window?
True that.
Back to back. It was Kudus today. Then the following day was Morgan Gibbs. Here we go. It's like, what's going on?
Champions League money, man. Champions League money, bro. It means different.
The link got reported 2 hours later. There was a here we go. I was like, what?
Yeah, they moved quick on that.
My head was rattled.
They moved quick.
That just goes to show how that deal went, though. There was definitely
some insider.
Yeah, 100%. Because when it gets triggered, technically the deal's done. But for you to have agreed personal terms as well to do 2 hour move,
they've been chatting for a while.
100%. I think he's got a case, man. Marinakis has got a good case, man.
So what do you think overall before we move on? Because obviously time's evading us, but within a couple of seasons, you'll be back? Because I think it's a little bit of a rebuild job for him, so I'm not expecting him to pull out flowers.
It is, but fortunately, Tottenham already have the players that complement the way that Thomas Frank plays. And I think that's the reason why Thomas Frank was the front runner, because of the wingers that we had. So even against Reading, I saw, because before it was Porro and Udogie would cut in, they will invert. Whereas now they're running literally on the line, whereas it allows the overlap. So if Kudus decides that he wants to cut in, Porro can run that way. Whereas before, everybody's all running in the same thing. So then all you have to do is just defend deep and what's the word? Like in the middle. Compact. You just need to be and Tottenham, and last season Tottenham was struggling to score against teams that played like that.
Yeah.
Whereas now you got players who would, like, if we get Gibbs White, like,
what's your thoughts on Gibbs White?
Gibbs White like, a lot of people maybe don't see the work that he does. I've been saying Gibbs White for like the last 2 seasons. Even when he was at Wolves, he does the dirty work. Like, he does the work a lot of midfielders don't like doing, which is getting stuck in, and then his ball progression is mad, and then he's passing. He doesn't, like, even the backlift. Sometimes he doesn't look like he's put much power in it, but like the backlift alone, he can. We haven't got a midfielder that spreads the play apart from Maddison. If Maddison's off the pitch, because Kulusevski don't play like that. He's just short passes, like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas Maddison's the one that likes to spray the balls. Bergvall, our youngster, he does that as well. But again, lacking of experience. Somebody like Morgan Gibbs White comes in there, he's got somebody to look up. Like, we've got a lot of youngsters that are got high ceilings.
So what kind of other profiles do you think you need after you get MGW over the line?
I think we need some, because Tels again is another unknown. Even though he's got a reputation from Bayern Munich, he's another unknown. We need somebody that's going to come and literally be Son's replacement
So you need a striker.
We need a striker. We need a left winger, and we need a 6. We've got a lot of 8s. We don't have a 6.
You signed Matthias yet?
Yeah, that's confirmed.
That's done.
Permanent. Yeah.
So we need a 6. Our wing backs are fine.
But don't you think a 6 is more important than you getting a Gibbs White? Because you said you got quite a few 8s.
It is, because even the conversation on the Tottenham podcast right now is that if Morgan Gibbs White drops and it doesn't go through, we should just go for an Edison or a Douglas Luiz or a Paulinho, somebody who's just going to protect the defense.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because we don't have a 6. However, apparently, us going for a Morgan Gibbs White doesn't disturb our pursuit for a number 6.
Jeez, so you guys are really rolling in the cash, yeah?
Yeah, apparently, because of the PSR window that we have, because we've got I think we're like 17th in the league for, like, we pay one of the lowest wage bills in the league. So basically, anybody that comes in now, if you want to call it the marquee signing, because Kudus I think is on 20 grand less than Son, but anybody that we bring in right now is expected to probably be the highest paid player if we don't make Romero the highest paid player.
What's Son on?
Son is on 200.
Fair play.
So what, is Basuma can't play 6?
He's just, but sometimes his decision making is just a bit suspicious. Like, when Basuma's on it, he's one of the best 6-8s in the Prem, I believe, like in the top 10. But he sometimes he can just lose concentration, and you can't be that guy in front of the defense and lose concentration. This is the reason why Tottenham are even being linked, because again, was that conversation of, is Adam Wharton worth 100 million? He is to Crystal Palace, but Adam Wharton is probably one of the most underrated
He's
DMs.
a baller.
All fans here.
But it's his injuries that are gonna maybe let him down.
See, and this is it.
But that's why he can't leave Palace now, because he was injured last season.
Everyone wants to see
more
him
season.
do one more.
But so you see Morgan Gibbs White, what, can no one else bid for him now that the cat's out of the bag?
That's what I was thinking. I don't think he's going to Tottenham.
So here's the thing. Other teams can bid for him now that they know
they know the situation.
However, Gibbs White has already told Nottingham Forest that he wants to move to Tottenham.
Yeah, but that's if Arsenal came in and said they wanted him, like he.
No, but you see, this is the thing. So even like with Arsenal, a Gibbs White at Arsenal would be good, because
I mean, forget about it. I'm just saying, like, if a big team came in and said, give him a contract.
Rice.
No, I don't trust Odegaard.
No, I mean, he's had one season off.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't trust Odegaard to do what?
He's like, no, in terms of his period at Arsenal, he's been consistent over a long period of time, but he's not a big game player. And for somebody like a team like Arsenal who's trying to go from here to here. You need that when it comes to big games. You need that player to shot. Saka is that consistent
I like Morgan
one.
Gibbs-White, but I don't think he's the one that will take us to big game player over Odegaard.
No. You see, the thing
Are
is,
they even in the same
No, they're
position?
not. That's why I thought he was more targeting Declan Rice.
No, but I'm also it's about. I was more so referring to the consistency. Gibbs White is giving you a minimum of 7. He doesn't go any lower than that every game.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's a good player.
Whereas Odegaard can give you a 9 today and give you a 4 the following week. And
I think the 4 gets gets blown out of proportion, and it's called a 4 because of how much he was the expectation.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's actually a 4, like, because his work rate is he never stops working. He never stops trying, and even in the games that he probably gets criticised, if we had like better finishers in front of goal at times, he probably walks out of that game and people speak about his performance entirely differently. So I just think Odegaard he didn't have his best season last season.
I have a question I've had for Arsenal fans here. Does Zubimendi, just 2 questions actually. Does Zubimendi move the needle at Arsenal? That's the first question. And secondly, amidst from the issues that he's got outside of football, is he better than Partey?
Both of them, I will say Zubimendi does move the needle, and I'm only like recently coming to that notion actually, because I've been on this pod saying that I think our midfield's got weaker with the business that we've done, and even though I do probably still believe that, but I do think Zubimendi moves that needle. I think it got weaker because obviously we've lost Partey, and I think who has come in. And we've lost Jorginho as well. I've always been a fan of Jorginho. So losing Jorginho and Partey, and obviously getting Zubimendi and Norgard, I do feel like quality-wise we've dropped a little bit, but then what they do give us in terms of their availability, I think that's an asset that is underrated. So that availability brings value that I think becomes a needle mover, coupled with Zubimendi's quality and coupled with his ability to find a forward pass and to do it at speed as well, both feet. So I would say Zubimendi is a needle mover, yes. Better than Partey, no.
All right, cool. I would love to continue with that, but let's move on to the next section.
No,
we're running out of time. Just quickly, transfers. Joey, let's come to you. Ekitike.
Hey, big spender.
Hey, big spender.
Ekitike. It's nearly done.
Yeah.
What are you thinking, bro?
He had Eddie Nketiah stats before last season. Just thought I'd put that out there.
Yeah. Sorry, what was your question again?
Obviously, he's coming to
Pressure's
Liverpool.
on.
It's nearly done. What do you think of him overall? What do you think if you get this player? Is it a bit of the
So
unknown, like you
obviously,
said?
Speaking of Ekitike before, first time I heard about Ekitike was 2 seasons ago when Newcastle were trying to get him. They always used to talk about him in it. So then after that. No,
Remember PSG? He was at PSG.
He went to PSG over Newcastle. Newcastle wanted him.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, they're talking about him a lot, but how good can he be? He went to PSG, so I'm thinking, this is a good guy. But then he went to Frankfurt, so I'm thinking, all right, maybe he's not as good as Newcastle thought he was, isn't it? But then I think we were having a discussion the other day, and Marley was talking about Marmoush and how much Eintracht Frankfurt make from their transfers and everything. So then I thought, cool. At the start of the summer window, they were talking about all the strikers available. There was Šeško, Gyokeres, Ekitike. Ekitike was never on my radar as somebody who I thought would be coming to Liverpool. Then I heard we're linked with him, and I thought, cool, let me go do my scouting videos. And I'm thinking, who do we have currently? May God rest Jota's soul. That was one of my favourite attackers in Liverpool. We've got Darwin Núñez. We've got Luis Diaz, and we've got Mo Salah.
2 of them are likely to go.
And Cody, big up Cody as well. So I'm thinking, what kind of player do we actually need? Because obviously Núñez wasn't working for us. Obviously, if Núñez could convert the chances that he got, then he'd be a big player for us. But
He was converting the harder ones and the easier ones. But
yeah, it never worked out that way. So what are we lacking? We need a player that can unlock, basically create more chances for Mo Salah, who's our biggest possession. We need somebody who can create more chances for Cody Gakpo, and we need somebody who can get us goals. Ekitike doesn't really tick off the goals thing,
But what he does do is add that dimension that Nunes was never able to do, is play football.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because obviously sometimes you don't need a striker to play football. You need him to score goals. But what does somebody else who can play football offer our team, and it offers us another dimension? Like Ekitike, when I watched the video, got decent pace. GoldKay was talking about ball possession, ball carrying and driving into space. He does that bucket loads and he beats.
He terrorised Tottenham in the first leg.
Yeah, good goal as well, bro.
Yeah.
But in the second leg, he was a bit.
Romero had him in the back.
Exactly. So that's what was a bit worrying, innit?
Yeah.
But yeah, when you watch his videos, and again, you take these things with Bundesliga with a pinch of salt. It doesn't mean anything until they deliver in the Premier League. But yeah, like the way he drives with the ball. The shooting was decent. You could see what he's going for, and that's what I liked most about Cunha. When he's taking the shots, and Julian Alvarez, you know what they're trying to do every single time. There's never like I'm trying to shoot him for the sake of shooting. I'm trying to hit corners.
Cunha does that though. Cunha did that at Wolves a lot there.
That's what I said.
Yeah, he's saying he did. That's what he likes.
No, as in sometimes he'll do his decision making wasn't the greatest, but obviously he was.
The last video I watched about Cunha was the last 40 shots.
Yeah.
Remember when I posted it in a group, and then every single one of those last 40 shots was intent. But I saw a bit of that with him as well, and I like that. The other thing is his physicality and his aggression. One thing that Slot said is that if you're coming to the team, you have to have high work rate and you have to have good, fast directional changes. So you got to be agile. And so he ticks that boxes, and the guy's got technical ability, man. So obviously I don't expect him to come and bang Salah level goals, but I expect him to come and chip in his 10 the same way I expect Florian Wirtz to come in and chip in their 10, man. So
do you think it's to fill a void? Maybe next year you go for Isak?
I think they wanted Isak now.
Yeah, because why couldn't they do it right now? Because if you
no, there's a chance they could do it now, but I'm saying if they don't do it now,
I don't think you would, but I mean, you could do.
I think it's confirmed that.
I wouldn't put it past them, bro.
It was either Ekitike or Isak.
No, I think Liverpool have got money in it right now because, again, you lot are saying big spenders. We're only big spenders because we didn't spend last season. Like, usually we're fucking tight with our money, man. FSG, people want them out because they don't spend money.
It's not about being big spenders, but I just don't think you'll spend 90 million euros and let's say close to 150 for Isak, and then...
It's not 90 million.
I said euros.
Euros.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You're ready to fight. Look at this.
No, because I think it's...
Basically, I don't think you'll splash out the cash for those two players in one season, and essentially they'll both be fighting for the same place, same position.
The same thing I said about Newcastle and Ekitike.
No, but the difference is that Newcastle already had that player in there.
Yeah. No, so I'm saying that, but I can't see them spending 90 million euros to get another player who they have.
Even though Callum Wilson's gone.
But you don't replace a 5 million.
You're talking about Liverpool, don't
No, I'm talking about Newcastle. You don't replace a £5 million striker with a £90 million guy.
Unless it's long-term planning, whether they need... Isak's not going to sign a contract.
He's on a tight one. I want to call you on something, by the way, Della. I've been waiting to. I wanted to do it in a group, but I thought I'll wait till we're on the pod. Because you and I used to have so many back and forths, especially when it came to Arsenal. And the one thing I always used to say to you, I was like, why can't Arsenal go and get Isak? And you would always go, why he's not for sale. And I'd say, well, bro, test it. Put something out there.
That's true.
Get a conversation started. And you always used to push back on it. And we've seen it in real time.
All I said is that Newcastle were not going to sell, and they didn't sell, bro.
No, what did
I say?
Wasn't all you said.
What did I say?
Because you were like
It's the Liverpool section.
No. I'll go back to it. That's why it's just a real light one because
you got my blessing.
Because obviously Isak came out, and I really wanted to find out what you thought of this, but because I literally said that basically everything Liverpool's done. Like, I've been in awe, bro, because that's what I've asked Arsenal to do.
Yeah, but all I said to you was that I felt like Arsenal weren't in the position to do it, because for Newcastle to sell Isak to a direct rival, it was going to be upwards of 100. And I don't think Arsenal had that at that moment in time. And I just thought they weren't going to sell. And proof is in the pudding. He hasn't gone to Liverpool, has he, bro?
Do you think he could go this summer?
This summer? He ain't going this summer.
Okay. Yeah, so back to you.
Yeah, I don't think he's going this summer.
Sorry. So, for your question for Ekitike, I think it's a good signing, man. I think it's a good signing. I think he will give us another dimension, as well as Florian Wirtz, man.
Do you think he's the last, or there's going to be more?
There has to be more, man.
What, in terms of signings?
Yeah, it has to be.
I
because
think Liverpool's next signing is going to be a defender.
It has to be a defender.
Like Gay, maybe?
Konate is on his way out by the looks of it.
Yeah, and you need a replacement for Van Dijk. Van Dijk is getting on, bro.
You know what I think, yeah?
And Quanta.
Yeah, so obviously
Kwanzaa is the one.
Kwanzaa, Konate, we don't know what's going on with Konate. Kwanzaa's already gone. But I think like Gravenberch had a breakout season. Yeah, brilliant. You was looking at Zubimendi and then Gravenberch has stepped up. Now your 6 options is Gravenberch and Endo. It could work again like it
And
worked.
McAllister, I guess, because he sometimes drops deep and plays 6
But
as well.
I don't know that's where that's the optimal position for him.
It's not, but you have to bear in mind that they've got Soboslai and Wirtz now, so there's loads of legs in there.
That's true.
So they can have a deep line playmaker in 6, play double pivot with McAllister and Soboslai or rotating.
I agree with that. But in terms of where I would think Liverpool can get stronger, it would be in that position still, and that's only based on Gravenberch like tailing off a little bit towards the end of last season. He had a great season, but he was tailing off a little bit. And then my hope as a rival would be he's not replicating that. Your fear, I would imagine, as a Liverpool fan, might be if he couldn't replicate that, then maybe that's where we're weak in that.
No, so what I heard as well. Obviously, you take this with a pinch of salt, but what I heard from our sources is that how Slot was selling it to Ekitike was 4-2-3-1 next season.
Yeah.
So if you've got obviously you're gonna have Gravenberch doing bits, but like if you're playing a double pivot, then you don't need.
Yeah.
Gravenberch doesn't do the same job.
Yeah.
Or his job isn't as crucial as it was last season.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I also know about Slot is that he will change it from game to game.
Okay.
All right. Time's evading us quickly. Strives. Madueke over the line now. That's complete. But
I'm not gonna change the way I feel about the Madueke deal. I think it's you know what, actually, let me take that back. Let me take a few steps back. I accept a bit more now that he is depth. Like there was a post that was put up on the podcast Pundits page, and I thought it stunk originally because it was. But then as I got arguing with some of the, I was going to call them names, but I got told off arguing with people that comment on the podcast Pundits page, so I'm not going to call them names today. But I got into some back and forth, and I started to think, actually, when you look at it in terms of the drop-off, like obviously Saka's your number one, the drop-off with Madueke isn't as large as some of the drop-offs in some of our other rivals, so I can understand, okay, although that's not the way I would have recruited depth, I can understand why some Arsenal fans are coming around to it and like, yeah, okay, this can work. For me, I'm still like, he's an Arsenal player now. When I'm there, I'm going to support him and whatnot. But he's got to prove something to me. Like he's got to earn my adoration.
Okay,
now he's not got it.
So question: if it wasn't Madueke that you would have gone for, who would have been a suitable signing in the same position for you, where you would have said, okay, cool, I see the Arsenal doing things?
Kudus.
Kudus would have been great because I've seen him play on those wings. Like I definitely would have preferred Kudus to Madueke. I'm just being honest,
Okay,
and I've said that in the past. But you know where I've said this again in the past. And I know Delo pushed back on it last week. I think it was last week where I said I would have Rodrigo seems like he's being pushed out of Real Madrid. To me, you just grab him.
But isn't that an unknown?
This is definitely unknown. And in terms of when the transfer is going to come, you don't know what's going to happen there.
Wait, so when you say unknown, what do you mean by unknown?
As in, he's not proven in the Prem, and I think that's actually why Madueke was more
Is
low
Madueke
risk.
even proven in the Prem? All I know is he's played in the Prem.
No, I don't know if he's
He's
proven to be what
played
though.
in the Prem, but proven to do what? That's the question.
But when you say proven, he's
Can you play in the Prem? Because there's some
That's
players
it.
that can't even play.
Yeah,
in the
that's
Prem.
true.
that's proven,
Rodrigo-
and he's done okay. Okay.
No, I mean, I'm not saying he's not. I think he's decent. So I
Okay.
don't want this to come out and it looks like I think he's shit.
Question.
He's not shit.
Why you
But
scared?
like
Why
a
you
spark-
scared?
but when you
Why you
because
scared?
I know he's an Arsenal guy now. You know what I mean?
But he was a
Yeah.
Tottenham guy though. Just
Yeah, he's from North London, isn't it? But question.
we had
Yeah,
him
but that
before
wasn't
we
his
sold
fault
him to
though.
Eindhoven.
That wasn't his
That's
fault. We won't hold it against
Like,
him.
Yeah, no, no.
Neto. Okay, when Chelsea got Neto, how did you feel about that signing?
I thought it'd be a good signing for.
So now you've seen him at Chelsea. Are you like amazed?
I'm not like blown away by him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see how it plays out because ultimately he technically played more games than Neto.
Yeah, he was probably Chelsea's best winger. But I mean, for the question GoldKay is asking, like honestly, I probably would have preferred Rodrigo because, like I said, it solves this clamour, if that's the word I'm looking for somebody on the left. Me, I'm cool with Martinelli, you know, but for my fan base don't want him, and they think Trossard is obviously being pushed out. So it solves that. You can play him on the left, and if you don't play him on the left because you know, for whatever reason, Saka's, you can also play him on the right.
But
yeah,
the only thing I'll say on that one, only because so when GoldKay said about he's unknown, what I thought he meant was that just the fact that you just don't know whether Arsenal are going to be able to get him over the line because you just finished Club World Cup. He's gonna go on his holiday, whatever, and then before you know it, it's gonna be a delayed transfer, and you may come to that time and you don't even get him. So at that point, what do you now do? Who do you then pivot to? Everyone's making their signings. Kudus is now gone. Like, what do you do? And it's essentially you try and get the players in as early as possible. So outside of Rodrigo, then it's
But then there's even the same argument. As much as Rodrigo's done his thing at Real Madrid to some degree, yeah, you can make the Anthony argument as well. Anthony did his thing for Ajax. When he came to Man United, he couldn't handle the Prem like that.
We know that.
Do you get what
Like
I'm
you
trying to
said,
say?
Prem proven.
So, and this is why Madueke was low risk because he's played in the Prem.
You're not low risk when you spent 50-something million.
but that's the going rate. Elanga
I'm just saying, it's not
Rasmus
like,
Højlund was
the same way.
Rasmus Højlund was like 70.
Yeah,
plus.
70 plus.
But how much do you think he went for?
No, like to me, Madueke
damn.
about 30.
But Chelsea signed him for 30, so he was never leaving for 30.
He's never. But what I'm trying to say to you, I appreciate that, and you're right. But guess what? For me, you're coming to the club and there's risk. Like if you're spending that kind of money,
But
you're coming to that.
Kudus would have been a risk as well.
Of course, everything's a risk. But when I'm just saying, for me, the same way I'm saying to Joey, that it's Ekitike, there's pressure. He has to perform. That money you're spending, that Madueke is not absolved from that. You can't spend. You're not spending 50 mil, and bro, you have to contribute.
No,
you
of
have
course
to
not. But all
deliver.
I'm saying to you, that's like the going rate for wingers nowadays, especially ones that played. He's Chelsea won for 30 million. He's now had 2 or 3 seasons in the Prem. So he's technically Prem proven, and then he's got
2 seasons.
2 seasons. Yeah, Prem proven.
And English
he's
tax.
English tax, England international now.
I think he might do well.
So
but you know, like
that's why
a few
there's
weeks
a
ago, I
premium
said
added
I
on
can
top of
see
it.
why Madueke would come to Arsenal. I just couldn't see why we would go for him. As time is going on, and like I said, that post that was posted up on Europa Pundits, I can see, I'm seeing it a little bit more.
God is softening your heart.
A little bit. A little
Bro,
bit.
you guys had Saka out for a minute. Madueke is I'm not saying he's a good replacement, but
Ethan did better than what Madueke did last season.
true.
And Ethan was there. I think Ethan's a central player, but Ethan was there and I was okay. So,
But when you say he did bad, I don't think you can say he did better because what are you measuring that against?
I guess it's a percentage ratio in like contributions
Stats,
per game minute.
and then
minutes.
just go everything. Like it was, trust me, Ethan was like it was better. Like
But Ethan weren't ready for the opportunity, man.
no, he's a young,
Got injured,
he's
still young,
He's a
isn't he?
young boy, and he's still got time on his side. You get what I'm saying? Like, but do you know what I'm saying? I'm not worried, bro. Like when Saka, when Saka was injured, and I'm seeing Ethan. It got to the point where I'm seeing Ethan in the starting lineup, and I'm good. Do you get what I'm saying? That's a good place to be in.
All right.
that's how I feel about Bergvall at Tottenham.
What about Gyokeres, if we move on to him? What's going on there?
Yeah, man. You guys know, man. I need that striker, bro. I need my striker. So right now, I'm a bit restless. I don't know what's happening. Everyone's telling us to be calm. All the ITKs on social media are saying be calm, it's done, don't worry, they're ironing out X, Y, and Z. I just don't understand. I'm confused that Liverpool getting their here we go for Ekitike before we're getting our here we go. But
It's because
Gyokeres was last week, bro. Until, as you said, until he
no, but I swear we was before, bro.
Yeah, they were.
we were before Ekitike.
Well, we
Gyokeres
don't
was
know
first.
how long Ekitike was going on, to be fair.
Yeah,
but,
maybe.
But has it been signed off everything?
Yeah. So he's on his way to Liverpool as we speak.
Yeah.
Mbeumo took long for Man United. Like some of these things take long.
Yeah,
but
but
even for us,
Buemo's was a transfer.
No, but you don't want to use Man United as the benchmark.
We were trying to go in low ball, and then we got fleeced.
with Gyokeres, the issue is all everything that's going on in Portugal. So from the fact that
That's true, the club.
because the club basically not you guys are getting Nottingham Forest right now. You're getting the Marinakis treatment because like Gyokeres wants to leave.
Yeah.
The team don't want to let him go.
Yeah.
But they
He's
signed the
refusing-
striker anyway.
Who?
Sporting. They've already
Yeah,
signed
I saw that, and that's what's made me think, oh, okay. But basically, put it this way, I still don't until I see Gyokeres doing the announcement video with the Arsenal shirt. I still don't rule out us maybe starting the season with maybe an Ollie Watkins as our striker because my club is very capable.
No, you'll get him.
no,
You'll get him. They're being squeezed at the minute. They're trying to get more
believe
pleas.
we will get him, and I do hope so. But just know that I don't rule it out that something can collapse, or maybe with this fetish that Arteta's got for Chelsea. I've heard Nicholas Jackson's on the market now. He might go and have a look over there. And I'm not even
They said
bantering.
80 million, innit?
Well,
Bro,
as
when it comes to Chelsea players, it looks like we've got an undisclosed budget.
You've got a good
as of
relationship.
as of 8 o'clock ish, the last thing from David Ornstein and from Romano is that the only thing left now is that they're just discussing add-ons. So everything has been done and agreed.
Yeah.
It's just add-ons.
And to answer Draymond's question, I've always said, get me that striker, we get to the next level. The only thing that I think now is I can't stand on that as strong as I used to is because back then was when I felt like we was at the height of our momentum. That was the time. Yeah. Now you've let a couple people catch up. I'm seeing other man doing business. You man are doing business. You got a new manager. Liverpool's cooking over there.
Liverpool is scary right now.
Everyone's doing their thing. So now that same comment, I don't say it with the same chest I said it back then, but I still do know. Put a striker in that Arsenal team. I've seen Marino cook there. I've seen Havertz cook there. Gyokeres is going to do a mad thing if he comes there. But I have to just chill out until it happens.
You tempted by Isak now that that you're hearing these protest rumours?
If you got...
Bro, if we could get... you guys know how I feel about Isak.
Yeah.
But that being said, if like Isak went to Liverpool, I'd have been pissed. But if we got Gyokeres, I'd have been like, all right, let's see who... It would have just been a duel.
Do you think, obviously, you've heard our bid got rejected. Are you not thinking, just chuck the 150 at him, bro?
For
Isak, because you know he wants to... Well, based on what we're hearing, he definitely is tempted by another project.
I would put 150, no problem.
Easy, yeah, you said that before.
I said that, bro.
So at this stage now, would you...
Yeah, this stage of the Gyokeres.
Forget the Gyokeres and say...
It's funny, we was having this conversation in a group chat, and you know Big Doug, he was in there just doing these sentimental ones. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm of a case of, Gyokeres has shown that he loves Arsenal, he wants all of this. I rate it, I rate the mentality. But bro, like...
So what?
So what? Bloody cares. It's that, 150, hold that, brother. Hey, Gyokeres, my G.
Yeah. Give me a little drink. Take this 1 meal as compensation.
I'll take both. Because I still think we need two strikers.
Yeah,
but
you're doing
if it
too
was
much
one or the
now,
other, I know, but everyone says I'm doing too much. If it was one or the other, of course, because Isak's always been my preference. But Gyokeres or Isak, bro, there's not too much disparity for me, if I'm completely honest.
There isn't. However, the difference is, and this is what it boils down to, and this is the reason why Isak's got £150 million price tag on him. He's proven in the Prem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Even Gyokeres, as much as his goal scoring record was mad in the Championship and mad in Portugal, the Prem's a different animal.
We've seen him at every level though, with Gyokeres. Like we've seen him in international, we've seen him bang. Champions League, we've seen him bang.
But at international, Isak scores more than him.
Does he?
No, Gyokeres scores more.
Gyokeres scores more than Isak.
In international level, yeah.
Yeah, but it's all different as soon as you come into that.
Yeah, into that
FA
cauldron.
sanctioned Premier League, bro.
Exactly.
It's
But
all
listen,
different, bro.
he's gonna have Zubimendi feeding him. He's gonna have Odegaard feeding him. He's got Saka feeding him, bro. Arsenal.
bro.
You lot only play against low blocks, bro.
Bro, let's pre it though.
Yeah.
Let's pre it though. The centre backs that Gyokeres has had to deal with. That's not to say that he can't deal with the big boys, but the centre backs that he's had to deal with in the Prem. I think that he's going to have to do with in the Prem. It's a different.
I'm sure. Has he done it in the Champions League though?
Yeah, he's done it in
He
Champions
did
League.
it against Man City, didn't he?
He'll be fine.
And the thing
No,
is,
Man
as
City was
well,
against that young kid though, bro, and he was playing that game.
the thing is,
They're still losing though.
Yeah, no, but the fact that he did it against Man City don't mean nothing.
Yeah,
Man
'cause
City
they
finds it
stank.
difficult to beat
And they-
Tottenham.
yeah, they stank at the time,
I
bro.
wouldn't
That's
go.
true.
No, I
wouldn't
hear you,
go
but GoldKay and Joey, please not forget what Ola Aina said when he spoke about playing Arsenal. How mentally taxing it is. Playing Arsenal is so when you talk about the centre backs, this and that, it's a madness playing us because of the way that we move
No, I
the
hear
ball
that.
and whatnot.
John
So
Joe
I'm-
Shelby said that Wilfred Bonny is the best player he's ever seen in his life, though. So sometimes footballers chat shit. Not to say that Ola Aina's chatting shit, but they do sometimes, bro.
Sounds like you're saying Ola Aina's
No,
chatting shit.
he might have gone out the night before. I don't know what he was feeling when he played Arsenal.
That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but-
It sounds like you got something to
It
say.
sounds like you're saying John Joe Shelby was chatting shit.
I
don't think he was.
Bro, what do you call it is not like, bruv, us. but I see why people say that because of I see Arsenal are very like on top of you more time.
I'm just saying I've just say be a bit concerned if we get Gyokeres over the line because that's all I think we've needed.
Yeah, you need a striker.
I say be a bit concerned.
All right, let's
well, not against Tottenham.
Okay.
I
don't know what the hell you're doing here.
Yeah. No, I know.
You're trying to bring Tottenham to Arsenal.
Do you know why? Wait, hold on. No,
it's different. Tottenham.
No. Do you know why?
Tottenham from Ghana.
Do you know why I'm going to say that? Do you know the reason why I'm saying that? Yeah, is because Arsenal struggled against Thomas Frank last season.
Yeah,
he knows how to nullify.
I don't say struggle. I swear we dealt with Thomas Frank a couple times.
Brentford beat you guys last season, bro.
No, you might be thinking a couple years ago.
No, last season.
Last season,
Brentford,
was it?
The top 6 found it difficult to beat Brentford, bro.
I can't remember what
they
happened.
bashed
I know Mbeumo scored a bottom
4-0.
corner replacement.
They beat us 4-0.
Oh, but yeah, I mean,
Brentford were hard to beat last season.
Brentford are typically. I've always found them hard to beat, but then we turned the corner. We was just like,
but you see, Thomas Frank has better players now.
All right.
it's still Tottenham, man.
We've gone over time.
I really can't believe he's even trying.
Do you know what? Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? Yeah. Obviously, I went to school with Strives, yeah. and do you know how they used to eat me in school?
Yeah,
they used to.
Good.
Pause.
Oh yeah.
Good lads.
No, but they used to destroy me in school. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, it's only recently, let's be real, because like in the last 8 years, Tottenham has finished above you 5 times.
That was your trophy. And then you got to your Champions League final and whatnot. And then you guys just became Spursy again. I think the best thing that's happened to you guys is winning that Europa League, obviously when they made it easier. When you lot won the Europa League, that's good. So,
yeah, but somebody had to do it though. Somebody had to win.
True.
So now
they
have to
won
beat
a
the team
trophy,
in front
bro.
of you.
They
So
won a trophy, bro.
yeah,
It was 1-1 in the last Brentford game, but Arsenal won 3-1 in the one before that.
Yeah, I was thinking this. Yeah, man. Right. But yeah, man, it's cool, man. You guys obviously you got to learn to crawl and walk. You finished 17th, so focus on getting to the top half of the table.
Finished 17th.
Yeah,
Jesus
get
Christ.
to the top half of the table, then we can talk. You know what I'm saying? You'll come back.
And in the process, you pick up European trophy. Yeah.
You wouldn't have thought that by the way that he was talking.
Yeah.
That Europa League, baby, forget that they finished 17th, bro.
That's what happens when you win, bro. Yeah, that's what happens when you win.
It could have been you.
It could have been us, bro. Oh my God.
No, but you know what? But you know what's so mad? Yeah, like as much as like, because like it's weird because as much as you shouldn't really focus on just the cups, I understand why Postecoglou would have said what he said because we got into the semi-finals of the FA Cup, semi-finals of the Carling Cup, of the League Cup. We won the Europa League. So if it's 4 competitions that we're in, it's only one of them that really we failed miserably in. But all the cups we did, we actually got far in all of the cups.
Yeah, but the Premier League is just
that's the bread and butter for any team,
and it's the measure.
Exactly,
you can't finish like that. You can't finish 17th. There you can't.
Yeah, facts.
So
fair play. All right, time's evaded us, so let's quickly move on to the back pages. Strives, let's just go straight into it. What's your back page?
Usyk.
Della?
Bremer forgetting the bag at United.
You ain't getting the bag, bro.
Hey, man.
Bro, he's just gone to his childhood team,
You
bro.
selected this quick. Why you questioning what I got to say?
Cool. GoldKay.
It's the Morgan Gibbs-White saga. Apparently, the news that came out today is that his wife has got a complicated pregnancy as to the reason why he didn't get on the plane for the pre-season tour for Nottingham Forest. However, I do genuinely feel like it's a smokescreen because the other story is that Nottingham Forest are in talks with Jacob Ramsey at Aston Villa, which sounds like a direct replacement for Gibbs-White. So
yeah, his wife gets better. But just to quickly explain it, so the back pages, that was a good one. But what we do with the back pages, where we shine a highlight on someone good, like so it's like you're putting somebody in the spotlight for doing something good. So I've chosen Usyk because obviously he punched up Dubois.
Oh, okay,
yeah. So it's just like someone that's.
I thought it was just a story.
Yeah, no, not just a story. Yeah, so it's just to shine light on something good. It doesn't even have to be just football. So obviously now I've told you that.
You can come back to him.
Yeah, we can go.
You know, but we touched on Morgan Gibbs-White and his personal life, innit? Yeah, I'm saying like we're praying for his wife, innit? You told it off well, man.
Okay,
I'm praying for his wife, hoping.
Yeah, mine is Dakota Dicheva, PFL MMA fighter, bro. She's sick, man. Watch the fight that we bang out the girl, boy. So yeah, look out for her, man.
Okay, smooth.
Marley?
Yeah, I'll go MMA as well. I'll go Dustin Poirier. Farewell fight. He's retired now. He didn't against Max Holloway, but yeah, man. Real fire, real G. What about you?
Sick. I'm going to go for Usyk as well.
No, man, chase someone else.
Nah, I have to go for Usyk, man. There was nothing, like, I'm going like with just relevant sports at the moment and it's dry for me, so I have to go.
Cop out.
Nah, it's not a cop-out, bro. The guy's done it like how many times, bro? This guy's nearly a heavyweight great. In some people's
actually,
minds.
no. Now, can I? Now, guess what I'm saying? Edit that, yeah, and just give it.
Nah, what do you want,
Do you know? I've
GoldKay?
been watching the women's.
The women's football?
I can't lie. France versus Germany the other day was mental.
As
And
in what, garbage or?
no, it was as in like,
Oh, you enjoyed it?
yeah, it was a really good. And the hero was the was the.
Hey, you see this Wally man?
This boy lying. No.
No.
I'm with you, okay, but you see these two, that's so
No, bro. Honestly, yeah, no.
trying to get us
No, bro. Honestly.
No, I'm joking.
If you like,
Yeah,
just the highlights. The highlights is about 8 because me, I don't watch the match. I just watch the highlights.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
best
yeah.
bits. So if you watch the highlights of the France versus but the German goalkeeper, like she done some.
Oh, wait, was that
I was
that
saying,
penalty?
yeah, the save.
That
The save.
penalty?
Yeah.
What was it going to be an own goal when she?
Yeah, and she
that's
just
yeah. Credit.
And I was
That was
like,
a great save.
whoa, like, cause like I can honestly say that women's football has actually progressed. Like, it's not as slow as it used to be.
Is this camera on me?
No.
I know.
No, but the thing is, me personally, I just watch the highlights, and the highlights are getting better. Do you
Watch
get what I'm trying to
90
say?
minutes. Still.
Yeah,
Let me see what you think.
Hey, man, cut this.
I'm gonna have to cut this.
Before this guy gets us off the air, man.
On that note, thanks for tuning into another episode of Podcast Pundits. Give us a like, give us a follow, give us a comment. We out.